Again, please speak.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so
Hello.
it was just user error. Don't mind me.
Okay, cool.
Well, nobody's watching, but that's fine. We're just going to go ahead and play D&D. If anybody wants to hop in, then that's their business.
Can I get a link for the Twitch
I
stream?
put it in the players channel.
That link goes to the donation.
Oh, the link for what, my Twitch then?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the
in case other people from the servers want to watch.
Oh, okay, I got you. And now it's in the players channel.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, so we have some at least one viewer, but it says 0 viewers. I don't understand how this Twitch thing works, so screw it. Let's play. All right. The adventuring party goes as follows. Seraphina is. Go ahead and introduce for everybody watching.
Hello, I am Seraphina. I am a fire genasi barbarian. I am about 6 feet tall, and my skin is very light ashy gray, and I have dark charcoal gray long hair. My bestest friend is my little buddy here, Cricket. And yeah, I'm Seraphina.
Falavor.
I am Falavor, a rogue tiefling, about 5'7", deep burgundy skin and long dark brown hair. Um, I've been around a bit, especially in the spy networks in the local towns, and have joined with this crew.
Cricket.
Awesome. I'm Cricket Swiftfoot. I'm a halfling ranger. I'm standing at a very tall 3'2", with some gray and black dreads pulled back. I am an orphan that takes care of my 24 younger siblings. And after being helped out by Seraphina, I've tagged along with her so that we can go on some adventures together and hopefully send some money back home to my family and take care of them.
And last but certainly not least, Trap.
I am Trap, the Witty. I am quite the charlatan when needed to be. I am a deep gnome enchanter wizard that has been blessed with a gift of the gem dragon. I wear them proudly upon my body. Try not to cross me, because I learn about everyone quite quickly.
Very nice, very nice. Before we kick off, since there are people watching apparently. This is for Ukraine, for the refugees. I got the link posted to the donation page in the chat. I'll probably post it a few times if I see chat filling up quickly, just to make sure that it's easier to find. And thank you for at least watching and showing support. Okay, a group of well-known adventurers. I'm not sure if anybody has decided a name for you guys or not. Has been hired by an army of humans, elves, halflings, dwarves, the standard humanoid types, to fight against a rival army of dragonborn. This adventuring party doesn't need to absolutely care why these two armies are fighting, because there's money in it. One side has hired them to do a job. Take out a general. The mission is to take out a general that is summoning a portal to bring forth demons from the abyss. Is anybody going to do anything to start, or can we just kick off into it?
Oh, we can just go into it. That's
Oh, yeah, I
terrible.
think
I'm
we're
not
ready.
trying to have anybody come through a portal.
I don't have maps because I'm a loser and can't do maps quickly. So, theater of the mind it is. Before you lies a massive battlefield. You were smuggled across no man's land and directly to the opposing side of Dragonborn. There is smoke and steam rising into the sky. Think of the Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings. Forests are being torn asunder to create this massive army and all of its necessary siege towers and all that other kind of stuff. The section of no man's land that you have had to cross has put you in a small, empty, ruined area. Some old buildings have been destroyed by either side, and there aren't any guards at this particular location, but you have been assured that there is just enough patrol coverage, blank spots that you can slip through into enemy lines with very little problems. Your general was stated to be at the top of the hill that the army is bunkered on.
And we're just trying to take out the general.
That is your main objective, yes. If you can attempt to disrupt any enemy machinations along the way, then your hirings are probably your employers are probably not going to argue too much with it.
That sounds pretty awesome. Then you don't have to. I think it's easier just to fight one person than to really take on a whole army. I don't have magic like that.
I think that's what
I am
trap is for.
following your logic.
The Dragonborn army it's not splintered, but it's obviously not doing very well in facing the opposition, but this general is opening a portal to shore up their resources, as it were. He's hoping that bringing forth demons will unleash enough chaos that the Dragonborn army can move forward without too many interruptions and take out leadership. I'm not 100% sure where to go here.
Well, to start, I would like to cast non-detection on myself and mage armor.
Nice. That bumps your
Smart.
AC up to 13, correct?
13 plus... I want to say my AC is sitting at 15 now.
I have your AC at 12 without mage armor. Also, if anybody notices websites I'm using, this is not sponsored. And again, if I was making money on it, you can bet it would be sponsored.
So, from where we are in this building that's kind of in ruins on either side, can we, from our vantage, can we see where the hill is, where the general should be, based on our intel?
Questions. I can do questions. I can do answers. Yes. There are several hills between you and where the general's main tent is. Think tiered blockades going up the hillsides. From your vantage point in that ruin, you can see small patrols going back and forth and army runners running supplies around. Going up this first hill that you're right at the base of, there doesn't seem to be any patrols.
There aren't any kind of any patrols kind of like in our immediate area.
Yes. Though from the intel that you were given, the patrol window, the empty window that you're in, would be closing soon. So another patrol is due shortly.
Sounds like we have to-
I'm gonna pull up the hood on my cloak of elven kind.
And what does that cloak do? Please refresh my memory.
Anybody who uses a perception or anything that uses wisdom check to see me have disadvantage, and I have advantage on the stealth checks.
Fair enough. I think whoever invented that watched Lord of the Rings too much.
Could be what Lord of the Rings based theirs off of.
Hey, now, we don't need that kind of logic here, all right? Who's going to go first into these, into the mire of an enemy army?
Okay, so I also have detect portal. I'm a horizon walker, so I have detect portal, and I could potentially figure out where exactly, if they're trying to summon demons to this plane, I can potentially see where spot within within 1 mile where their that portal would be exactly. We just have to get close enough to it.
Well, I can tell you that the general's tent is within a mile. These hills aren't super large. They're not Appalachians by any means, but they're definitely small enough that the general's tent is within 1 mile of you. So if you focus that sense, then you would be able to tell if there's a portal there or not.
Okay. And we have Pass Without a Trace too, so we can potentially, as a group, the 4 of us, we can really either wait behind the next patrol that would be coming by shortly, and kind of follow behind them, or we can just pass without a trace and go straight over the hills towards towards where we think they're drawing, where they're bringing in the demons and everything.
I like that plan.
That's a very good plan.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
Pass without a trace, is that disadvantage or is that +10? I always forget.
It's +10.
+10 to stealth rolls. Is anybody in heavy armor?
Not that I think.
Cool. Then everybody roll your stealth checks if that is what you're about to do, and we can start kicking off some fun times.
Yeah, and we can be tracked by magical, except by magical means.
Right.
I actually can't be detected by magical means. I use
That
non-detection.
can't be detected at all, so he's good.
I'm also going to use my racial feature. I can use it a number of times equal to my proficiency bonus. It gives me advantage on stealth checks.
Cool. Then there you go. Please raise my volume a little bit.
Let's see.
38.
How do I raise my volume
Wow.
a little bit?
28.
Oh, man.
Oh, with +10, 27.
I have a 19. I was the one that did this, and I got a 19. I'm just a little too pleased with myself to be stealthy, I guess.
You were so confident in the fact that they told you it was a good plan. You're like, well, I don't need to hide very well after this.
Maybe because everyone else disappeared so well, you got intimidated.
Man, just give me a little bit of a compliment, and it'll go straight to my head.
Apparently. Jeez. Just keep complimenting him. He'll keep rolling badly, and I can win.
How long does Pass Without a Trace last? Is it an hour?
Yes, it's concentration up to an hour.
Perfect. Thank you.
So, as you are casting Pass Without a Trace, you can definitely hear some individuals getting closer on the other side of the ruins as no man's land. And neither their perception checks nor their passive perception is going to find out that there are individuals waiting in the ruins to sneak up behind them. These two talking. Man, this war is such bull crap. Sorry if I sound awkward cutting my language. I'm not used to not cussing at all. This war is such bull. I just want to go home. These two are arguing back and forth. Yeah, well, it's your duty, you know. Dragons and all that nonsense. They're the ones that have the say around here.
Trap will quietly mock them with his hands, motioning as they talk, like hand puppets.
Yeah, Cricket's laughing silently with Trap, especially as soon as they said duty. It just rips him apart. He just loves it.
That's great.
Seraphina's got her hand over her mouth so that she doesn't laugh out loud because she might.
That's classic duty. Who doesn't
laugh at
like
duty?
funny?
I mean, it's duty. I mean, hero's duty. Who doesn't love that game?
You got to do your duty.
Everybody does their duty once in a while. Isn't that kid's book, Everybody Duties?
Balivor takes a moment and then realizes why everybody else is laughing and starts quietly laughing herself.
The patrol has begun to move on, continuously repeating the word duty over and over again, completely unaware that they are making an entire group of adventurers laugh it up. Following them, they start heading up the hill toward the first set of barricades, and there are these large metal spikes sticking out of the ground to protect against advancing military. And you can see wave after wave of dragonborn gleaming metallic armor, preparing weapons, spears, bows, and all this other kind of stuff. I say that phrase a lot. There are crates of explosives behind each line that they are preparing.
Oh.
Continuing up the hill, there are lines of... I suppose these characters would recognize cannons when they see them. Yep, lines of cannons, cannonballs, stacked perfectly, rounds of paper-sealed gunpowder, standard ammunition stores behind each line of cannons, and there's at least 5 to 10 in each row heading up the battery.
So,
And
yeah, go.
these Dragonborn, what color are they?
Most of them are... You know, I don't follow dragon colors. Screw that. Most of them are brown, black. Some of them are darker gray. Each line seems to have a singular leader that is blue. The two patrol that you are following, one is like a coppery color and one is brown.
I see.
Sorry, everybody watching.
No.
I have my own ideas for dragon colors.
Is there any indication or maybe a check that can be done to find out what maybe some of their weaknesses may be or their resistances to elements?
You could do an insight or investigation check. The answer would change depending on what kind of check you're doing.
I would love to do an investigation.
Do it.
Wow.
19 plus 4 is 23.
Ooh.
I am not proficient.
Ouch, that's a good roll for not being proficient.
Okay.
So it appears the brown dragons are more they're more uniform, but if something goes wrong, they are less adaptable to change. But they seem to be the most infantry style, good for marching lines, less adaptable to change on the battlefield. while the black dragons kind of counteract that. They're more about the change, guerrilla warfare style, adaptability entirely, and less uniform maneuvers. That seems to be the way that, glancing around their lines, how they are training.
And you described going up the hill. There are different, you could say like ranks of like infantry that have cannons and cannonballs and whatnot. Is that going up the hill?
So the first couple lines of the battery are infantry, and then the next lines above that are cannons to back up the infantry that would be moving forward.
And above that would be like kind of where we're trying to go.
That is the next hill that you're moving towards. This patrol
Okay.
is just pretty much going straight up the hill and down to the other side.
Cool. So, as we're moving along, and we see this, um, I want to kind of hush, uh, communicate with the group. Could we maybe use those cannons, the cannonballs at the top? Maybe we can like push them down or something downhill, and that can cause kind of like a chain reaction, and all those cannonballs can knock into the other cannonballs and then down to the infantry, make a whole big fuss, and we can just kind of skirt on by while they're distracted. It may be something that involves those explosives.
Trap gives a nod and a thumbs up. He seems to be in approval.
Fire?
Anything that causes chaos is fine with me.
Looks like we got some donations, by the way, so thank you for whoever did that.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
This is the right group. I'm so glad the guild put us together for this mission because we are just going to sow chaos all over this place. So we have to incorporate cannonballs and explosives. Oh, that I don't have any fire man. I can shoot a bow and arrow really well, but that's about it.
Fire.
I mean, if you can think of a really a trick shot way of shooting something, maybe you can start a chain reaction that way. Bow and arrows are really good for ranged attacks of some kind, but
Trap will kind of show that he can form a small bit of fire in his hand. Prestidigitation.
I can also produce flame.
I cannot, but I am resistant to flame.
I mean that's
Trap
pretty
will
helpful.
smile, nod, and point to the person who can produce flames, which seems way more potent.
Well, really, all we could potentially do maybe is light the end of an arrow, kind of put some cloth, light the end of an arrow, shoot it at the explosions, and if we could do like a two-prong thing where we at the same time we're setting off those as we're also pushing down the cannonballs, because I think they're in different areas, are they not?
So the rows of cannons each have a line of ammunition behind the row. So it's just a tiered row of cannon, ammunition. Higher than that, cannon, ammunition. Next row, cannon, ammunition. And it's just going up the hill.
And if you want to add any extra chaos, I can cast darkness once a day. Just making sure they cannot see.
Gosh, that's really. What if we save darkness for if we need to make an escape?
That's a good idea. Just as a forewarning, unless you have Devil's Sight, you won't be able to see through it.
Is that okay? So that's fair. I can see pretty well in the dark. I don't have dark vision, but if I squint my eyes really hard, so I can make out shapes. So I think we are covered there as well.
This thing is obviously a square. That's my back. That's what I just said.
Where in the back? All right. So if we're going to do a two-pronged sort of situation, which pairs are we going in? Which sides?
Well, we might not even need to do a two-pronged if we can just set off the explosives behind the cannons. It can theoretically make like a domino effect, and like the explosion pushes forward the cannons and cannonballs, which hits the next row of explosives, and then cannons and cannonballs, and it all just snowballs into just an avalanche of warfare towards the front line.
Are you guys still following the patrol at this point, or have you stopped to deliberate?
I think we would love to get as close as we can to those cannons, right?
Yeah, I guess we would stop kind of within the range, like within a range where people aren't necessarily immediately in line of sight of us, but still close enough to the hill to where we can have advantage to plan.
All right. That would be breaking off from the patrol for at least a little bit. Yeah, at the top of the hill there is a break in the lines of cannons. Since obviously, if you have a line of cannons directly behind another line, it's not going to be nearly as efficient. So there is a break in the line of cannons before the hill starts sloping down into the next hill. So there is an empty spot right behind the entire line from there.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going. You're good.
In the dip between the two hills, you can see no more cannons, but there is lines and lines of purple dragons astride wyverns.
Oh, not wyverns.
They all seem to be muzzled and with cloth around their faces to keep them on the ground and distracted. So the wyverns themselves are not super aware of their surroundings at the moment, but the riders are all prepping their mounts and all that, making sure saddles are strapped on correctly. And
I wonder how obedient they are to their masters when they're not chained.
how would you know that?
I wouldn't. That's why I'm curious.
Okay. I didn't know if that was phrasing meant for information from me.
Well, yeah. Aren't you? You said you're blessed by like the gem dragon, or something along
Yes.
those lines. Would you potentially be able to roll like a history or? Because I'm
That's
not
a good
proficient in
question.
anything like,
DM, sir.
Sorry, what was the roll for?
Since I am blessed by the gem dragon, is there a arcane or maybe a history check I could do to know about wyverns? Or maybe their training?
You could do a history check, yeah.
Again, I don't have it trained, but I will try.
You can always attempt.
That is 15.
You're aware of. I mean, you've heard stories and seen them fly before, so you're. Wait, wyverns have wings, right? Yeah, they can fly. You're aware of their existence. You know kind of what they're about. You don't know exactly how obedient or how animalistic they are.
Do I know that they sting or claw at people?
Oh yeah, I mean, you've heard stories of people being attacked by them.
Dreadful creatures.
okay.
This whole time, Seraphina's been going 1, 3, 2, 6. Wait, how many are there?
It's a lot. It's at least 12, but less than 1,000,000. So
Would y'all stop moving around? I think I counted one of you twice.
we definitely have our work cut out for it.
Is there more than Daisy and Johnny?
Oh, there's a lot more.
There's more than Daisy and Johnny. Okay.
If you have 24 younger siblings, you have to understand how to organize on the fly and manage chaos. So this is nothing. You should see them trying to get up in the morning and have breakfast. We can do this. So we're going to have to, if we light these explosives, we're going to have to just immediately hightail it the other direction towards towards the main encampment and hopefully draw their fire away from us.
What's the range on your bow again?
I am a small person, so I can't have a long bow. I have a short bow with a maximum range of 320.
320. So close to blazing it. Yeah, I mean, that means you could be a decent bit away to be able to hit it and still accurately hit what you're aiming at.
And if need be, I'll also let the group know, I'm pretty good about 300, 320 feet away if we need to, because I'm not good at eyeballing that. I can potentially get a little bit closer. I can get a little bit get a little bit closer, shoot the barrels with the flaming arrow, and then hightail it back over here to the group as we make our way out of here.
I also have a short bow, so I can potentially be another set of arrows.
Yes, I like that. So, two stealthy people, we can go in, still have pass without a trace up, and just loose a couple of flaming arrows, and hopefully be able to make a domino effect and run the opposite direction towards the next hill for the general.
That sounds good to me.
Is
I have
your
the utmost faith in you.
sensing portals, is that an always active kind of passive sense, or is that something that you need to focus on to sense?
It is a concentration and it's an action.
Since we're not in combat, I wouldn't consider actions specific things. It's just something that you're doing. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Just.
But yeah, I can use it once and I can't use it again until we finish a short or long rest.
I'm gonna say since it's a one shot, we can go ahead and nix that. I mean, you're a Horizon Walker. That's kind of one of the things that you do.
I'm so happy they decided to summon things. That was their mistake. Who could have known?
I mean, they would not be aware that somebody was going to hire a Horizon Walker to ruin their day.
Those are a rare find.
I like to think that the guild, in putting together this team, kind of saw all of the misdemeanor marks against me of like petty theft, damage, loss of goods, things like that. And we're like, oh, not this guy. But then saw I was a Horizon Walker and was like, oh, well,
He's useful.
we can make this work.
Petty theft, pfft, just take out the general. You'll be fine.
There you go. It's all wiped away.
Offer of clemency, you know.
I love it. Okay. So I guess I'm going to take out my short bow and knock an arrow with start preparing with a little bit of cloth from you know, our general like explorers packs and whatnot.
Yeah, you'd have cloth in there.
General just like make some basic like cloth to wrap around the ends so that we can set fire. We'll get 2 of those going, one for me and one for Falivor.
Mm-hmm.
As we kind of slowly, like in a prone position.
Army
Well,
crawling.
yeah, so Falivor, can you produce fire, anything like that? Is that a tiefling thing?
No, I'm resistant to it, but I cannot produce any of it. I can cast thaumaturgy, but no flame.
Okay. No problem.
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to light cloth on fire with other cloth that's on fire.
Well, I'm asking because if we light it first and then kind of make our way, since neither of us can produce fire, would that give our position away? Like, shadows moving in the distance with like small flame with them.
With your pass without a trace, I would have you just re-roll stealth if you're going to
Okay.
do that.
Yeah.
Because you're still going to be moving stealthily, but since you are moving with changed conditions, having fire with you, then you just have to re-roll it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, who's going to light us before we make a little trek?
Anybody got a bic?
Seraphina just opens her hand and goes poof, and there's fire there.
Trap
Awesome.
very elegantly just holds out his thumb and creates a tiny flame.
I like it. I hold my the end of the arrow over Sarah's flame, almost like I'm roasting a marshmallow with how small I am. Cool. As we, I guess, make our way over, just like stealthily make our way so that we can get in range and shoot those explosives at the top behind them, with intention on having
Right.
things roll backwards.
Falivor, are you doing anything interesting before you guys take off stealthily, or?
I'll light the arrow on Trap's thumb, and just be prepared to move.
All right, go ahead. Both of you roll stealth again, please.
Is this at disadvantage?
Nope, just re-roll it because he's got pass without a trace, and you'll be close enough that it wouldn't impact.
36. I fixed it that time.
You remembered how to
31.
be stealthy.
I just had to throw away the other dice. That's all it is.
Just had to not be complimented for your idea in order to roll well.
Oh yeah, save the applause for afterwards. I have to focus up.
So with that, you'll be able to army crawl forward up the hill slightly towards the rolls of gunpowder. Both of you make attack rolls, please.
Okay.
Standard ranged attack rolls. If either of you nat 20s, this is going to be hilarious.
Oh, man, I absolutely wish.
Burn everything.
Right? Nope.
15.
I got an 11.
Did you say 13?
15.
15. Yeah, both of your arrows are able to find the not super hard to hit, not moving rolls of gunpowder, and an explosion sets off, making cannonballs fly forward towards the cannons and amassing troops. And the entire military, collectively, it feels like watching a tennis match. All of their heads just move to the side and stare at this massive explosion.
Awesome. As soon as I think I rolled low because the arrow I lit it too early and it started to burn my fingers a little bit. As soon as this explosion happens, I'm like, we have to go back to the group, back to the group.
With your pass without a trace, both of you are still able to get up and haul butt back to the group without really being noticed, because everybody's just trying to figure out what the heck just happened, and they've seen it, but they haven't reacted to it yet, so they're not watching you two move back to the group. The patrol that was moving forward along the line has stopped to stare at the destruction, though.
Cool. Okay, so I guess as we'll kind of stealthily look to see as soon as mass movement goes towards that incident, we'll move around them towards our
All
goal.
of the wyvern riders are trying to calm their mounts now because they all get flustered and excited with the sound of an explosion. Like, ooh, combat! All right, let's go. But all the riders are trying to calm the wyverns down to not have them break free of their restraints and leave too early before they're ready to go. So you guys start moving off again through the ranks of the riders and wyverns. Is anybody doing anything? I'm going to switch between wyverns and wyverns because I like chaos as well.
That's definitely asking for chaos. And
Just trying to stick with the group.
Kobolds, kobolds, it's the same thing. Cabalds.
as long as we understand.
Yep, that is the important thing. The group is moving through, and you guys all pass the why did I just blank on the word? The patrol patronage. You guys pass the patrol just as everybody starts reacting and troops start moving towards the explosion. You can hear the shouted orders from the leaders behind you and all that. Is anybody turning to look at what has been done, or are you just focused on moving forward?
I'm superhero walking away from the explosion.
Enter the Lonely Island song. Cool guys don't look at explosions.
I'm curious about looking back and seeing who is sort of taking charge of the situation.
All right. Roll an investigation. There is a lot of debris and smoke that is still kind of in the air.
19 total.
It looks like several of the blue dragonborn leader-looking types have tried to maintain order, but again, certain sections of the troops are not very adaptable with what's going on, and they're just trying to stay in formations. And the rest have dove for cover. They're not. They're not particularly unified in any particular way towards it. It does look like several of the cannons had started rolling forwards. Several more cannons were completely destroyed that were nearest to the blast.
Okay. He's making sort of a ranked note in his head based on what they do.
So, would we potentially, to the group, would we potentially get paid more by our contractor with destruction to like army property? I think that might be able to get us a bonus. They can throw in a couple extra like 1,000 gold maybe per. We'll figure that out. As long as someone keeps tally, we can give them like invoice or like some kind of bill. Let them know we went above and
Cannon
beyond their
destruction
call.
fee.
Can we get paid for destruction? And is that awesome? You have to keep a tight ledger. We have to figure this out.
Hey, keeping notes for future payment is always a smart idea.
Oh man, Cricket is always thinking about the bottom line, trying to figure out like what is the job, how can I get paid, and how can I get paid more? Always on mind. Can I potentially roll a perception to see, I guess, figure out the best route to go around like the least amount of people towards the next hill?
Yeah, you can roll a perception on it.
I 15.
It doesn't look super clear considering the wyvern riders, but it looks like you could probably navigate through. Kind of like it feels like you're in the middle of a very very busy marketplace. You're just trying to weave your way through the crowds. So yeah, you could probably find a solid way through. Especially since the wyverns are too busy trying to fly off, and the riders are too busy trying to calm them down.
Do we have anything for the wyverns in general that we could potentially free them, and that could make more of a stink for the army?
So what do we do? Use
Are you asking me or your compatriots?
The group. Do we have anything potentially for? I don't have too many other real spells like that, and the most I have is like detect portal primeval awareness. But that's about it.
What sort of spell are you looking for?
Something that would. Can we pretend? There has to be a way that maybe we can like free the wyverns, so that at least like they're not. We can pass by them without worrying about them coming and attacking us. Um, Or we can just stealthily try to make it through there.
I'm a bit cautious that if we free them, they may fly around and attack us anyway.
They can unprovoked attack us. I guess wyverns do attack people in general. That is in their nature.
I would say we could potentially focus on the wyverns on our way back from our mission.
Ooh, can we ride a wyvern out of here?
Ride a wyvern into the sunset, that would be amazing.
That's fantastic. It's a never-ending story, and I want it.
It sounds fantastical. I have no riding training at all.
I'm
But
sorry,
maybe.
Is that too fantastical for your fantasy tabletop role-playing game? Nope, did we lose somebody? I feel like we just lost
It was too
somebody.
fantastical.
Right.
There you go.
Whole Discord just...
Animals like me. I like animals. Maybe I can talk to them later.
That would be awesome. We can
would
maybe
be
talk to
pretty
them later and get out of here, like on some.
I will
highway.
put as much faith in you as I can.
That doesn't sound like much.
Oh, man.
We are such a
That's
confident
gonna
group.
be,
This is awesome.
That's gonna be psychic damage right there.
Oh man, for real.
How much?
Oh no, my childhood trauma.
Right. So I guess if our main thing right now that we want to do is if we can stealthily make our way towards the main encampment, we'll kind of just take note of what we're passing by for now. So as we have to make an escape. Is that kind of what we're feeling?
I feel it.
Okay. Also just want to float out there. I'm proficient in disguise kit. So I can dress up as a dragonborn soldier and make my way through there. Ignoring that I'm 3'2", I can dress up as a dragonborn and maybe they might mistake me for a kobold.
I also have a disguise kit.
But aren't you also a deep gnome that's like 3 foot tall?
Yes, I also have the disguise self spell. I can make myself 1 foot taller.
Okay, how about this though? I'm proficient in disguise kit. You have a disguise kit. We're both 3 foot tall. You stand on my shoulders. You just use disguise self and the disguise kits together, and we can be two halves of a whole dragonborn.
Please tell me somebody has a trench coat in their pack somewhere.
I don't see the flaw in that plan.
What could possibly go wrong with something like
what
that?
could possibly go wrong?
I have an alternative that is not as funny, but if you could potentially cast disguise selves on either Seraphina or I and be essentially dragonborn children.
That is not nearly as funny.
No, I know. Just throwing it out there.
That's also a good possibility. We can go with that. Hey, we caught these two troublemakers, these two rascals. I mean, look at us. We would never do anything wrong, as we just have like the most like devious smile. I guess would be on both Cricket and Trap at that point. Like, what could ever go wrong? We couldn't do anything. We would never trick anybody. That would not happen.
No, of course not.
Not with the charlatan background, that'd be crazy.
And I have the urchin background, so this just goes hand in hand.
I see.
Charlatans and urchins. Name me a more iconic duo.
Well, I can cast Disguise Self once per day,
Okay.
so if we'd like to try it, now could be the time.
I'm just glad that not a single person decided to be a bard, because a dragonborn army and a bard we'd probably get the stream shut down for that.
Oh, yeah. So,
We don't need more Scanlons around here, all right?
yeah, a bard would just, with all the bravado, just walk in there, just through the front gate,
I'm your father, all of you.
just walking in, strumming a mandolin. Like, I got this, guys. No worries.
So, out of Seraphina and Falivor, which one of you can pull off a grumpy dragonborn better?
I can grunt and am tall.
Sounds pretty solid to me.
I'm not sure I could pull off the grumpiness as well, but I'm good at deceiving others.
That totally works. Could we, like, get by and maybe have us in, like, because we're both small creatures. Could we, like, be hiding in a cart or some kind of something that can obscure us? Where's the hotel tray that we can hide underneath as we infiltrate this area? This just became a heist movie.
It's a heist with a murder at the end. I mean,
So
if you're looking for some form, if you're looking for some form of mobile container, somebody could probably roll an investigation or a perception check to find one.
Since I'm thinking about it, I'm going to roll a perception, see if I see. Does that?
I am not going to tell you that that is an excellent idea until later.
Rep is just
Cool.
gonna do measurements on his two other party members.
That's. I'm looking for a cart in the meantime. I rolled a 22 on
That
perception.
was an excellent idea, by the way. So behind the wyverns, there are carts of feed that are full of like raw meat and stuff for the mounts to eat. They're quite big enough for several entities to hide within. Some of the back row of the wyverns are just kind of like trying to turn around and sniff, trying to figure out where the food is behind them.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing because it sounds a lot like being in a dinghy out on the open ocean surrounded by sharks with a dinghy full of raw meat. Is
Hey, you
what this
asked for
all
a container,
sounds
so
like.
you asked for a container. I told you where there were. There's a wheelbarrow that the guy picking up the droppings has, but you know.
Cool. So either a poop wheelbarrow or a wyvern buffet.
Enter Back to the Future. I hate manure. It's all references here. It's nothing but references.
Oh, as any good tabletop game.
Of course.
Okay.
If you like it, steal. I mean, use it in your game.
While. So, I let the group know. Okay, so we have. They're not great options. We have two options. Either we can go with option A. We can get into a cart that has feed in it, and you can maybe push us through, kind of past these riders. Well, we might want to move some of the meat out of there so that there might be space for us. Okay. Option 1A, we go over to the wagons and we clear out the meat. Well, that would... Okay, 1A is to get the meat, is to get the wagon. Option 1B, we get it out of there. You guys go through... Well, should disguising be
How well is Seraphina dealing with all these complicated plans?
Not at all. She's just
Just vacant. Vacant.
she's still counting.
No
And
thoughts.
she never
only
gets
food.
higher than 7.
It's like, hang on, I have more than 7 fingers, but I can't tell how many fingers I have, so it's obviously the amount of fingers I have.
It's always that next number that's the trickiest.
Yeah, what's that number that comes
Was
after
it
3?
3?
God damn
Is it 3? Or is it 10?
it. 14 and a half.
The numbers are never in order either as she counts. It's always 1, 3, 7, 4, bouncing back and forth.
1, 2, 5.
7, 9, 4, M, 3. Was that a letter in there somewhere?
Purple.
Okay, so yeah, we can either go into the cart and have a disguised Sarah and Falavor push us along with me and Trap in the cart. I think we should make like clear out some of it, just like kind of make like a hole in the middle of the feed for us to like hide in, and if like any wyverns like kind of like sniff around and try to see what's going on, we can just hand a stake out the back of the cart and just like hope that's enough.
It's a bribe to stay silent.
It's
So
the
where-
equivalent of just telling a dog, "Shh, don't say it."
Is Falavar going to fit with us, or is Falavar going to need a disguise as well?
I can help disguise. I have a disguise kit, so I can help potentially disguise one. If we can also disguise the other.
Yeah, if both of you have disguise kits, then potentially you Trap can cast disguise self on me. And so that way we'll all be disguised.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I think that might work then. We can if Trap if you can disguise Falavor, I can use the disguise kit to help disguise Sarah and have them push through to the next hill area.
I could cast disguise self, and then I could help you, so you have advantage on your disguise kit.
That's even better. Because let's see, depending on what it would be, what kind of role would it be to do to disguise somebody?
I guess it depends on what attribute.
It'd probably be a charisma roll, so like a persuasion or a deception. Probably deception, because you're trying to deceive people into thinking that you are someone else.
Not a problem. The funny thing is, despite all of this, I have a heart of gold, so I'm not proficient in deception.
Considering it's a disguise kit, that would give you advantage on it because you're
Yeah.
doing your best shot at making somebody else think that you're.
Well, I have the proficiency with the disguise kit, and Trap is helping me regardless. So
Yeah,
that'll
so
give
that's
me
that's double advantage.
okay. So
Roll 3d20 and take the highest. Anybody want to assist him with that so that he can get quadruple advantage?
huh?
I'll
Yeah, plenty of
assist.
I don't have. As long as you have proficiency, then you can assist. But I don't see any reason
No,
why
the
you
colors
can't
are all wrong.
I don't see why you can't just keep adding on d20s with assistance. That just sounds awesome.
Wait, so
If I'm an
is
expert, can I
Falavor-
add 2?
if you're an expert, you add double your proficiency. Yes.
So I will assist again.
Okay, so that's a total of 4 dice, let's say.
Let's see. It's 3 because he's assisting and you have proficiency. It's 4 because she's assisting and she's an expert. So that's 5d20 and take the highest.
Good.
Welcome to my table, everybody, and everybody watching. speaking of everybody watching, again, this is for Ukraine. I have the charity link, the donation link in the chat. Thank you, everybody who is watching, and for our shenanigans and my absolutely rocky start.
Oh, man. Okay, so I got a dirty 20.
5d20 gave you a dirty 20? Wow.
Look, I rolled like a 5, a 1, a 3.
Hey, a dirty 20 will work. That is definitely
Yeah.
going to make a passable dragonborn.
Awesome.
Probably a little bit more than passable because a dirty 20 is still a solid number, so it's good. You're good.
Okay, awesome. Nobody's going to give us any looks.
What color are you going for anyway?
Oh, man. Well, what color did we make? Maybe,
It seems like the blue are kind of the captains here, and the black
Yeah.
is right under them, and brown is the worst.
okay. So, yeah, I guess we would go with
That
blue.
absolutely sounds horrible for a live stream. Let's not say words like that here.
But yeah, I think for the sake of all of this, based on the ranking that Trap has seen, we'll make both of them blue dragons. Yeah, we'll make them blue dragons. We haven't seen any red dragons, have we?
Not yet, no.
And with this guy's self, from a distance, they look perfect. Someone has to show up and kind of investigate them
Actually
and pass a
inspect
check.
them,
Yeah.
I'm just taking a note. DM said not yet on red dragon.
I mean, you haven't met any yet. I didn't say that there were none. I didn't say there were any. I just said you haven't met them yet.
He also didn't say
Don't be
like-
a mimic.
you didn't say that there are any like Draco liches or anything else like that. So I have
Exactly,
no idea
so,
what
yeah.
happened.
And disguise stealth will last 1 hour.
Cool.
Cool.
So the two short people are going to hide in the meat wagon and silence any wyverns that you push by.
Yeah, as best as
Yep.
we can.
Climb into the meat.
The whole time you were painting Sarah's face and stuff, she's going, "It's itchy. It's itchy. I don't like it. It's itchy."
I don't like disguise kits. They're coarse and rough and they get everywhere.
We've slapped your hand like 1,000 times at this point from like picking at like the scale work and the horns. Just no, stop touching it. It's let the glue set. It'll be fine. It will move.
It's like, it feels weird.
This doesn't feel natural. I don't like this.
All right, go ahead and give a strength check, whoever is pushing the meat wagon.
Seraphina, would you like to take the meat wagon?
This works out.
17.
Awesome. So you start pushing the meat wagon along, and wonderful. It doesn't seem like correction. One of the wyverns starts pulling really hard as it sniffs the meat wagon is coming around behind it, and it starts snapping its jaws at its rider, trying to get to the food.
And I was pushing it,
Yeah,
right?
you're pushing it.
Okay, I'm just gonna grab one piece of meat and just throw it at it so it leaves me alone.
Roll a. I can't say a ranged attack because you're not trying to attack it. Roll an athletics check, I guess, because that's dexterity. Or no, acrobatics is dexterity. Roll the dex check.
Oh.
You're not trying to strong arm the thing. You're
That
trying to
changes it.
just chucks a hunk of meat at
7.
No, 7.
So you throw the meat and it lands on the foot of its rider and it snaps, and the it tugs its chain really hard, and the chain snaps, and the thing goes to grab the meat and instead bites off the foot of the rider, and he starts screaming immediately.
Oh, man.
I'm just gonna keep pushing and pretend like I didn't see that and I didn't throw it.
You can hear screams and snapping sounds in the background as you're pushing the meat cart away towards the other side of the hill.
Imperceivably, I'm just whispering, sorry. Oh,
Wonderful.
no.
I'm gonna turn and say, "Get
I
a
hear-
hold of yourself."
I hear dragonborn. Their foot probably grows back, right?
It's their tails. Their tails grow back, man. Not.
Are you sure? I feel like. I mean, you probably know better.
I don't know. I hope. Let's hope it grows back. There's. Modern magic has done, like, amazing things. They keep figuring it out.
Of course.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Beyond that, as you hear more wyverns get overly excited because now there is fresh blood and raw meat, they're getting even more excited. First there was explosions, and now there is raw meat in the air, and they are just going crazy. You hear more chains snapping as you keep pushing this cart up the hill, and getting to the crest of this second hill, you can see Falavor and Seraphina can see down before the third and final hill. This is where the back end stuff happens, like the cooks and the armorers, the metalworkers, all that kind of stuff is all set up in this part of the hillside before you get to the top. There is noticeably more activity from a bunch of green dragonborn. They have very decorated uniforms. They're completely clean, crisp, looking. They're all extremely rigid in their directions, and they look quite a bit more distinguished than even the blue dragonborn. And they are trying to marshal some blue dragonborn themselves to gain control of the chaos that has started ensuing. You can't hear the orders being shouted out or anything like that, but just the sight of it tells you exactly how far up the chain these green dragonborn are. Anybody doing anything, or are we continuing on from here?
Peeking out from the wagon, from the meat wagon. I hope our group doesn't become the meat wagon. Oh, there's the meat wagon. Like, no, that wasn't what we agreed. Can I peek out from the meat wagon and maybe
Trademark
do
now.
Oh man, the hashtag meat wagon. Can I roll a perception check to see if there's a clear area where they can park the cart and we can kind of like unload and get out of there? My fear is that with them being blue dragons, now I don't want like another green dragon to be like, hey, what are you guys doing here pushing this meat wagon? You need to be over here on these lines.
Looks
so yeah,
like
can
we
I roll
get
perception?
another donation. All right, thank you much, whoever did that. Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off there. I'm bad
Well-
at cutting people off.
If the chaos is coming from the wyverns and the meat cart was over there, perhaps the children could be the instigators, and we are coming to report.
That could work out. Okay. So we have rope. We can maybe tie us up but tie us up you know, and tie us up where it's not really tied. It's just kind of like theater, like, just looped over itself, and present us. You know, I'm sure Sarah is like strong enough to just like hold both of us up by like our like shirt collars and be like, I found these two guys. Um, and then maybe we can get in like that. That's not a bad idea. We
While
just
you
don't know
were
how many people are around them.
while you were using your disguise, you were disguising yourself as kobolds, right?
No, I didn't actually disguise myself as
Okay.
a kobold. That would be fantastic, but I think. Well, I don't know. I don't know if dragonborns would look down on kobolds. They might. I know from my character experience that I look like elves, but elves look down on me because I'm like half an elf. So by that same math, they might not like kobolds.
Was there only one green dragonborn, or are there a few?
There are a few, but the rest of them are further along the line, more toward other hilltops. Like it seems like there's one that's marshaling each hilltop of forces.
Let's see.
How close are we to the main general's tent? Do we know?
You are at the base of the hill that his is at the top of. So you're just at the bottom of his hill. His or her hill. Nobody's actually told you what the general is. Just the general that's doing the thing.
And all the locations we've passed, are they tents or are they buildings with doors?
They're mostly tents. It appears the Dragonborn army has come here. The other army did not go to them. I mean, there have been, ruined buildings and all that, but it's not like they were set up as prefab buildings for the military. They're just like there's an old farmhouse that's been taken over as as where they keep the larder and stuff like that. Like it's not dedicated military buildings.
Okay, good to know.
Maybe Falivor and Cricket can do some stealthy investigation, see if we can kind of make our way up an unmonitored portion of the hill, and see if we can like backdoor or kind of side view look at the main camp where the general should be, and see if we can glean anything from that, and then kind of report back to the group before we all just kind of go there. Because I'm afraid if we just present Trap and I to them, what's to say there aren't like 8 full plate armor dragonborn generals in there, just like awesome, cool. We needed a little snack, and they just. I don't know if dragonborns eat.
I'm
is what I'm
definitely not on board being eaten at all. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
agree with that.
That's like number 36 on my top list of ways I want to die, so that's not really something I'm looking forward to.
Is there an estimation of how many people or creatures are between us and where we're trying to go? The top of that hill?
Since you're in the meat wagon, I don't think you'd have a clear view of how many are in the way now. And Michael, since you can see my screen on the stream, I sure hope you're not peeking at what's coming.
Oh, I actually have
Sneaky,
Discord
sneaky.
up, full screened.
Okay. I
Nice.
was gonna say yes. I am. I have only one screen because I'm not one of those rich people with 2 screens.
But I have left the stream.
I mean, I appreciate it. You could keep it up as like a there's another viewer here, but just don't be watching it because you don't need to know what I got. All right.
Nah, no cheesing here.
Don't be a
Totally
mimic.
fair.
Don't be a mimic. I reserve the right to change anything that I may have written down on the fly without telling anybody.
Yeah, that's a given.
Who knows that I didn't roll that nat 20?
I guess we're kind of since we're at the base of the hill, we're off to a side where there isn't as many people, where people aren't kind of in line of sight of us. I want to get out of the wagon as soon as we can. Just get the juices off of me as we figure out what we're trying to. The next leg of this journey.
Meat juices, delicious.
I'll cast Prestidigitation to just kind of clean him and myself off.
Cool, because this really feels like wyvern marinade, and this is already. I'm brave, but I'm not dumb.
You're like,
So
dragonborn are here to eat me, wyverns are here to eat me, kobolds might try to turn me into like a 5-course meal. What else is here to eat?
He really has a fear of being eaten, it sounds like.
He just lives in Australia, all right?
I mean, I'm from the big city, and you see a lot of things. I've seen rats that are bigger than bigger some kobolds. I've seen rats bigger than goblins. It's insane. And I've seen goblins bigger than most halflings.
Those are called orcs, not goblins.
They have those too. So maybe there's some weird stuff going on there.
We don't talk about your half-orc bartender, all right? We don't talk about them.
We don't have to go into all that. It's fine. Just some shady individuals. Okay. So I'm pretty stealthy, and I have good ways of getting out of trouble. I can potentially go up here and scout out things to see what's going on. Is there any other way that we kind of want to approach this?
Yeah, I'd say.
Can I take the horns off yet?
They're still itchy.
We don't know yet. We don't know if we want to do away with these disguises. So just a few more minutes, and then you can go, and I'm sure the rage will actually, when your hair gets on fire, will just burn all the horns away anyways. So I'm sure we'll make it happen.
And that'll look really cool.
Oh, it would look so awesome. You go into a rage and just your hair just alights.
Looks like Hercules, but it's a different, or Hades, but it's a different color.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
We can kind of like sneak up there, see what's going on, what's the haps, and
what's the haps on the craps.
I can report back. I have a horn of silent alarm, so I can potentially go up there and see what's happening, and if it's within 600 feet, let you all know silently. If I'll do like 1 toot if it's danger, 2 toots if it's safe.
1 if by land and 2 if by sea.
Yeah.
3 if by wyvern attack.
So I can potentially let you guys know if there's danger up there before we kind of just like jump headlong into it.
Something midnight ride of halfling revere.
Would you like me to you?
Yes, another stealthy person would be awesome.
Stealthy people are good for this. So far, the barbarian has been hilarious, though, so I'm not going to argue with it.
Oh, I'm 100% relying on our barbarian. The next phase of this. My job is to get us in here. After that, I'm just going to kind of be in the background.
I would like to point out that this session so far has been mostly the ranger doing ranger things and being awesome at the ranger things. So if anybody says that rangers suck, I'm just going to send them to you.
The best ranger, most of the time, I play a barbarian.
Well, there you go.
It works out.
I don't know if you can give it to the class. I think it's more of the player is awesome.
That too. That too.
Concur.
Don't say that. You'll make his next roll really bad.
Oh man, it's like it's the karma of the dice. It's okay. I have one in dice jail, so we're not going to worry about him. And he's done. Cool. So, yeah, I guess Valivor and Cricket will start heading up there.
All right, roll some stealth checks to see how stealthy you may or may not be.
How long has it been since we've been in this camp?
It's been, we'll say, about an hour or so. It hasn't been an hour since Disguise Self was set, so that's still active. But it's been about an hour since you guys got into the camp, because you guys pretty much have been able to make it straight through without any troubles. We haven't rolled initiative yet, so it must be pretty boring for all the viewers. But that's fine. The more hit points you have when we go in.
I don't want to say that I'm extremely intimidated by the concept of combat because I have 44 hit points.
Because you're not a barbarian this time?
I'm not a barbarian
say
this time. I don't just get reductions to everything under the sun. So
You're like, I'm actually going to take damage this time. No!
I feel exposed and it feels weird and a little shameful. Where's my
Someone
rage
who tried to
coverage?
die on us yesterday.
Oh my goodness. It's
I have 38, so I'm quite nervous.
okay. Cool.
Clarification question: is Pass Without a Trace still up?
I would say no, since we can say no at this point because we've been relying pretty heavily on it.
Yeah.
All right, then 24 for stealth for me.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. Ooh, I got a 21 for stealth. And if worse comes to worse, and they catch on to us, since you're still disguised, just grab me and just be like, I caught one. And if anything, I'll toot the horn. How many times did I say? Was it 1 for good, 2 for bad?
What?
Well,
2 for safe, 1 for bad.
But one of them can't count. Oh,
That's
We'll
okay.
figure it out.
She's still with the wizard, so I think Trap can translate for her.
cool.
I would just like to point out that one of them rolled a nat 1 for perception, so they're basically aware that they exist and nothing else. Another
Also,
one rolled a nat 20.
Anything that is rolling for perception for me has disadvantage.
Oh yeah,
because
that's right.
of my Cloak of Elven Kind.
That also means their passive perceptions have -5.
Okay, that makes it enough to not notice you.
Cool.
Cloak of Elven Kind for the win. You got like one little corner tucked around the halfling as you shuffling up the hill.
Oh man, I'm like
Just a
almost
boulder going uphill, don't mind us.
I'm like
Just a
walking
movement.
like in between your legs, like each stride. I'm like walking between, like just can't.
All
I
I
have to
can
keep up.
all I can imagine is people like with the bushes around them, and they pick it up, and then they do the little hop to the side. We're just bushes. Don't mind us.
It's entirely the cardboard box from Metal Gear Solid.
Get the
That's all this
exclamation
is.
point. Huh?
Oh, I guess it was nothing. That's the natural one.
Snake,
He had the little
snake,
alert
snake.
and then realized, oh, it was nothing, and just went back about his business.
Why play D&D when you can play a bunch of other games and movies all at the same time, just wrapped into one?
That's what it's about. Yeah. So we make our way up the hill.
So the Assassin's Creed social stealth worked perfectly, and you guys were able to make it up the hillside without anybody noticing you. Somebody needs to climb to the nearest sync point to reveal this section of the map, and Assassin's Creed? No? Nobody? Okay. I gotta re-download Valhalla. I haven't finished it yet. So, you guys make it to the top of the hill near to where the general's tent is, and the tent itself is empty. There doesn't seem to be any movement inside of it. It seems pretty cleared out. The campfire in front of it is, it's not even smoking anymore, so there doesn't seem to be any activity in the tent itself.
And this is where I sense the portal coming from. Yes.
You have
Or
not
where
said
I
that,
originally sensed.
where you originally. It's not like right in this spot that you sensed it. It's a little bit beyond it.
Okay.
I imagine you may have to reuse your ability to pinpoint the location now that you're much closer.
Yeah, if I can, I want to see if I can detect where any kind of portals would be. Now that we're kind of in this more localized area, I'm still holding off on using the horn.
Yeah. So there is a bit of a forest behind these hills. They've been clearing the trees out to build like trebuchets and all of the superior siege engines on this side and build up cannons and whatnot. But behind the hill where they haven't been foresting, there is clusters of trees, and it is further down the hillside behind the tent. But in a cluster of trees, there is an extremely strong presence of portal type energy and aperture science. So that is about where it's going to be.
Cool. So we're on a hill towards the back of the encampment. This is down that hill.
Yes.
Further back in like a clearing of tree.
Yep. So further away from the army, not in the direct presence of the military.
Okay. I'm going to ask Balavor. Did I say it was one horn or two for? Which one is it all clear? I think it's two.
2 was safe, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to use my horn. Yeah, I'm going to use my horn of silent alarm. And I'm going to direct it. I'm going to look back down the hill towards Trap and Seraphina, and blow it twice. So hopefully they can.
Does
Get the message.
either Trap nor Seraphina remember which number was which?
I think Trap
For
would.
sure.
Yeah, he's a pretty intelligent guy. He has a sharp wit. I know he has it.
All right.
I will give her the
hey.
thumbs up.
Seraphina was gonna go 1, 3. Was that the wyverns?
Three was
It was 1, 2 to his safety. We're good to go.
Oh,
Who comes after?
okay.
I didn't even know he had a 3, but it's good.
Dealing with me, I think it would be safe to assume 3 toots would probably be like wyvern or something equally
just
dangerous.
Clear out. Everybody's gonna die. We're all gonna die.
1 for bad, 2 for safety, 3 for utter chaos.
Yeah, basically.
So he's constantly blowing 3 toots. Okay, got it.
Despite having the brave racial feat.
Hey, there is bravery in all forms. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the absence of fear; it's the overcoming of it. It doesn't stop
Especially
me from
when-
wetting my pants, but it just
It just
Life
reminds you to
lessons.
wear your brown pants than anything else. Yeah.
there you go. Can't prestidigitation that out of there.
I mean, you can try, but the smell will stick around.
Yeah.
So, what is Seraphina gonna do?
I guess I'm just following the wizard up the hill.
Following. Are you taking the meat cart with you? This is specifically for the
old.
barbarian. Are you bringing the meat cart with you?
Let me roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna start attempting to push it.
Okay, roll a strength check. That would be athletics. I can remember what skills are totally. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's 15.
Yeah, you're strong enough to start pushing the meat cart up the hill now that the wizard and the ranger are not in it. So you're pushing the meat cart up behind the wizard as you get up to join the other two.
I'm
Fancy
like,
seeing you here.
yeah, I'm like looking at like in the direction where I think the portal is. I'm like, okay, so my senses are telling it's about, I want to say maybe 700 feet, maybe 800 feet that way. What? Why is the wagon?
I, I think the intentions are good. If the wyverns get free and attack us, we have plenty of meat.
I suppose that could work, but it is also a beacon to us.
Oh, okay, no, that's
Or,
okay.
or, if we get attacked by wyverns, throw them at the general.
Genius.
I'm
We do
getting,
know they bite off legs.
I'm getting meat dress vibes here. Where's Lady Gaga when you need her?
So are we actually called the Meat Squad?
Oh, I hope not.
No,
we're not.
Just get a stake and spear it on an arrow, and then shoot it at the general, and just keep spearing him with stakes.
The stake and spear.
Let's just hope some of these guys are vegetarian.
Vegetarian wyverns, of course.
They're the most sickly looking ones. Okay.
Was I supposed to leave it at the bottom?
We only feed them the best vegetarians we can find.
It's totally cool. It's the initiative that I love. That's if anything, it helps us more. We can, and I'm just like massaging my temples.
Maybe it will cover our scent.
Yeah. Okay. How about if we need to, we can set the meat wagon on fire, push it back down the hill, and then it's like, cooked meat, and it attracts the wyverns over there, and we make our way towards the portal. Does anybody have cooking utensils? And maybe we can throw in some like garlic, maybe a couple of onions, something.
This ranger is good at a lot of things.
I have a crowbar I can tenderize.
Yeah, we can.
You're gonna make me get rid of the barbecue? That's not very nice.
Well, we can maybe take a couple of them. We can figure it out. But we can potentially use it as a distraction. Push the delicious smelling meat wagon the other direction as we go this way and fight what's ever in the woods over there. Because that's not what I have a great feeling about.
I love it already. This is your guys' plan. I'm not gonna weigh in on this.
Look,
That makes me more nervous.
You live by the meat wagon, you die by the meat wagon. That's all it ever is.
Oh boy, we have 9 viewers now. Woohoo!
Oh.
Okay. At least I think that's how this works. I don't know how Twitch streamer numbers work.
Oh, the portal is that way?
In chat. I don't know.
Yeah. So the portal is down the hill in this forest area, kind of in the far back of the encampment. So that's where I'm sensing the portal.
If the general is anywhere, perhaps he is there.
I would say so. Would it behoove us to maybe investigate some of this, the encampment where we are now, since there's nobody here, kind of search around to see if we find any useful information, any magic swords?
I mean, you are at the general's tent.
Trap's willing to just walk in. He'll use Mage Hand to kind of move the tent opening a little bit, and he'll just kind of walk his tiny body in there.
All right, roll an investigation to see if you find anything useful, I suppose.
Okay. I only got a 10.
You're definitely in a tent, and there is stuff in this tent. I'm just kidding. You can see armor racks. There's not a lot of armor because it's only the general, but there are a few racks of armor, gleaming metal stuff. There are weapon racks. They don't look ceremonial, but they are certainly interesting looking weapons.
I'll kind of wave for everybody else to kind of come into the tent to show it off, but I don't think any of this metal armor is going to be good for any of us.
I like come in with a bow drawn. Like I like
Combat rolling.
yeah, like CS:GO kind of like pivot my way around like the door frame, like to try to see if anything's out here.
Enter Hawkeye the Halfling.
Man, I'm fighting with a stick and some string. That's all I got.
Strongest Avenger.
Speaking of which, we don't, so there's nothing in here. There's no like, Holy Avenger sword or anything.
Would
placed
anybody
above the
else like
mantle.
to do an investigation check that might yield better results?
I'm investigating.
I will look around. Yeah.
I'm investigating.
Roll the numbers.
I have a 9 total.
You are definitely in a tent, and there is armor and there are weapons.
16 total.
Well then, the tiefling, on the other hand, notices on the general's desk there are battle plans and maps laid out, and there are still weapons and there's still armor.
I think this tent is made of burlap. This is definitely a good, well-made tent. Almost fire resistant. It's a good thing with dragonborns.
Come over here, Trap. We've got some battle maps over here on the desk.
He will move over to take a look.
I just find it funny that I've said weapons 3 times now and nobody is going to investigate the weapons.
I'll get to that
This
eventually.
whole time, Seraphina is like swinging her hips back and forth to make the tail swing, because that's a new experience.
Roll a dexterity check, like acrobatics or something.
I know where that's going.
7.
Trap, roll a dexterity saving throw.
18 total.
Oh boy. You see this giant fake tail come swinging at you, and you dexterously duck out of the way as it smacks into a chair and breaks off one of the legs.
Whoa! You gotta be careful with that thing. You almost hit my body. That's my vulnerable spot.
I'm almost entirely bodied.
Oh,
Almost.
sorry, Trap. It's new. I can't feel it.
I'm
It's
at least 80%
weird.
body here.
And while Trap's looking at the battle map, I'll take a look at the weapons.
Alright, there is...
Do you mind if I also ritual cast Detect Magic?
That's 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I'm at the door. I'm at the entrance to the tent, kind of like keeping an eye outside while everyone's looking inside. You always have to have a man on the door. That's what they always say.
That is what they always say. Give me un momento. I must take a personal bio break, meaning bathroom and, normal bio stuff.
Which means I'm going to do that as well. Thank you.
I'm going to mute myself so that nobody hears weird sounds.
That's man, I'm just so I don't want us to immediately get swarmed by wyverns and dragonborns, especially not in like full plate. That would be so unfortunate.
It really would. I have 1,000 ball bearings, so...
Okay, so we can home alone this, and we can just scatter them and skedaddle out the other direction.
We're on top of a hill. Just skedaddle them. I can use thaumaturgy, gust of wind, shove them down the hill.
Just completely. Okay. See, we can. This isn't as dire as I'm afraid it's going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine.
Yeah. I think hopefully the DM will be merciful enough.
Maybe if it's a good day. If he's having a good day, had a nice breakfast before all this started. Maybe he'll be reasonable towards us.
I'm back and much more refreshed.
Awesome. It's man, this is going to be. I'm looking forward to seeing, I guess, what's going to come out of the portal, because the heroes never make it on time to the portal. They never do.
Or even if they do, there's some sort of plot device that happens, and we have to sit there and listen to the monologue.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no matter
If players interrupt my monster's monologue, it gets an extra 100 hit points.
Oh, well, that's not intimidating at all. Wow.
But I haven't played in a game where he's DM'd, so I'm curious.
Yeah, I have no idea, so we'll definitely see. And they're summoning like a demon or something. Yeah, they're summoning a demon portal. That's when.
Summoning something that dragonborns aren't afraid of, apparently.
But isn't that always how it goes? Like, the bad guys try to summon like an even bigger dark power, and it really just doesn't end well for either side. Like they end up taking over the.
This amulet I have will grant me complete control over this enemy, and nothing bad could ever happen to this amulet.
It happens all the time. Like.
Oh, where'd that amulet go? Oh, the rogue has it. Interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's going to work out. Did any of you ever watch the movie The Mummy Returns?
Mm-hmm.
It was all about, I'm going to use this like sacred bracelet, and I'm going to control the armies of Anubis. And then you end up losing your arm in the process to summon them, and you still die to like the scorpion. So it doesn't matter. Like, it's always something.
Pride comes before the fall.
Yeah, like how many times has like the Red Skull in Marvel Comics like tried to summon something that just like backfires on it? And it's like, cool, I summoned Shumagorath, but now he's just swinging tentacles around and destroying me.
Every single time.
That's like, that should be, if no capes is like in Hero 101, never summoning a bigger bad guy should be number one in like Villain 101.
Don't monologue with your back facing the bigger bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't work out. Can't control that.
What is it? Don't celebrate your victories early.
Yeah, don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Yes, exactly.
It's going to be. But maybe we can use that to our advantage, and we can be very persuasive to a summoned demon lord, and we could be like, "Hey, we're the good guys. You want to help fight the good guys, fight the bad guys, right? We're on whatever side you're with, you know."
We are on your side, sir.
Yeah, so help us take out those guys. Those are the real bad guys, and we just point at all the dragonborn.
Or I've had a friend of mine who convinced the monster that he summoned it right after the bad guy. That was a fun time.
There you go. See, we can figure this out. We can say we are the ones that summoned the demon, and that the dragons, they're the dragonborns, they're the ones that are trying to stop him. It just depends
unless he's really mad that he's been summoned.
Like he was taking a nap, watching a game.
Could have been in the middle of anything.
In which case, it's all the Dragonborn's fault.
Exactly. He could have interrupted his Magic the Gathering tournament or anything on the other side.
So our strategy is just to full pivot and put all the blame on the Dragonborn.
I fully support this plan only because Serafina just supports the plan.
Supports the plan. We like a team player.
Supporting the plan is good. If the plan has combat and any fighting, the plan is even better.
Do we have any aces in our cards by chance? I mean, I have a few spells that might help, maybe, in certain situations.
I
am fully intending on powering up the barbarian, just setting the barbarian free.
That's really the best bet. I also have like protection from evil and good, so that helps too. Especially if we fight something nasty.
Oh, welcome back.
No strategizing. That
No,
would-
we would never have done that.
There is never strategizing.
that's
Not when your DM is a wild card.
I mean, you can strategize all you want. Remember, I am not here to be against you. The bad guys are here to be against you. They don't know what kind of strategy you're going to have. You can strategize all you want.
That's fair. So you wouldn't be mad with the fact that one of us like broke into your house, looked at your notes, and then ran back to our home computer to report back to everybody.
Um,
I wish I could teleport.
what notes are you talking about?
No notes at all.
That's the
That's a lot of dice.
That's the best DM flex ever.
Um,
Just nope, can't figure out what's going on because I'm figuring out what's going on.
Especially with theater of the mind.
That's a lot of dice.
Wow.
So,
I want a dice chest.
no, that's not a lot of dice. That is.
I don't have that much. I have like a chainmail dice bag, 5 dice cases, and then a iron dice case or something. I think that's all I have.
I'm sorry if that just flexed on anybody actually watching the stream, but I have a lot of dice. And all of my notes are right up here. There's a few elsewhere, but, it's on my computer, so,
Can't take those notes.
I mean, you can hack my computer, but, it's not going to give you many notes. It's going to give you a bunch of weird files that you'll want to bleach your eyes afterwards.
Yeah, is it worth it?
Okay.
Is it worth losing a piece of our soul?
Are we ready to continue?
I think so.
I think so. For some crazy reason, during the break, my computer decided it didn't want to stay connected. So, fingers crossed, that has worked itself out.
Well, let's pray.
I would make you roll for it, but we know how that works usually.
Mm.
Okay, so you guys are standing at the top of the hill figuring out what to do with your meat wagon, checking out the tent. The
Ritual
wizard,
casting
the wizard
detect
has
magic.
cast detect magic, and there's magic all over the damn place. Like this whole tent lights up with it.
After focusing a little bit with detect magic, can I find out what sort of school of magic?
There are so many that it's kind of hard to nail down any specific school. There's just a bunch of them all over the place. Enchantment seems to be the strongest, though. Or the most populous of the schools.
Like the tent itself has a spell
No,
on it,
like
or
all
okay.
of the things inside of it. Like there's just so many things inside this tent glow with magicality.
Does any of the weaponry look like it has any kind of enchantment to it?
Detect magic, I believe, only works for the wizard that is casting it. It wouldn't show it to everybody, does it?
Yeah, it shows items. I think it's everything within 30 feet.
I mean, only the wizard can see the magic that is being presented, right? Yeah. So.
Well, if he asked me that, I'll point it out to the group.
Yeah, I would have asked because he must have Trap probably let the group know that he was going to ritual cast that.
Just making sure. I don't. We don't metagame here. All right.
Yeah, but that's why I'm like at the door looking out because I know he's going to need at least like 10-15 minutes to do that.
Yeah. Yes, all the weapons, the armor, all glow.
All of the gear in here are magical. I can't tell you exactly what sort of magic, but all of it is magical.
Because you probably don't have identify, do you?
Nope, because it requires a 100 GP item to cast every time. So
Holy
We
awesome.
would say if you were preparing for something like this, you could prepare if you had the spell. You would prepare by bringing those items with you. I'm not.
Well, I haven't.
super
I haven't used Find Familiar. I can always swap that out for Identify.
You're a wizard. I could believe it. Unless you were planning on bringing a familiar with you or calling one in.
I wasn't entirely sure, and I haven't used it at all, so I feel like I'm good with swapping it if you're good.
Yep, I'm okay with that. I can imagine a caster that knows they're about to be infiltrating a military encampment would be able to prepare and plan for a lot of different spells that they might need. So identify would probably be a good spell to prep.
Yeah,
Is there a weapon specifically that a barbarian would be interested in?
I don't know, barbarian. What weapons are you proficient in, and what would you like to have? What would you prefer to have if you were a barbarian with a weapon?
Big ones. Two-handed big ones.
Oh, like a warhammer, or like a maul.
Yeah, or like a greatsword or something like that, because that's what I have right now.
Yeah, there's a great sword in there.
Well, since I want a ritual cast Identify, I'm only going to try and pick one for now, so I'll try that one. I don't expect we'll have a lot of 10-minute breaks, so...
While he is ritual casting, without your bidding, Cricket, your sense doorway, no, portal, there we go, sensing portal goes off without you even attempting to, as if one just opened up. And with the casting of Identify, you have discovered that this greatsword is let's see, what exactly does Identify do? Does it give you exact stats or just
the exact stats? It even tells me how to activate it.
Okay.
It doesn't tell me any curses though.
Right. So it will be a +3 greatsword that the attacker the target has to do a Constitution saving throw. If they fail it, then they take an extra 1d8 of ice damage.
He'll point it out to the barbarian and say, "This is the single most powerful weapon I've ever seen in my life. If you hit things, they have a chance to take ice damage, and it makes you even more proficient with hitting."
It just makes your hittinger.
It's incredible.
I highly suggest you use this.
I can tell exactly how many players have never sat at my table before, judging by a reaction to a weapon.
It's almost so beautiful that he's wiping away a tear from his eye. Like he's, oh my god, I can't believe it.
She's gonna grab her greatsword and look at it and set it down next to the other one and take that one.
I can't tell you what these other items do, but if you guys can use these weapons, you'd probably be encouraged.
There is 2 daggers, a bow, a staff, the greatsword, and a maul.
I will take the daggers if nobody else has any objection.
Well, what kind of... Is it a long or a short bow?
It's a crossbow. You're like, damn it, the one thing that I can't actually use.
Yeah. Well, I'm also in the camp of this armor is better. Yeah, but it's ugly, so I'm fine. No, that's cool.
You're a ranger. I would say that you could be proficient in crossbows.
Is there also magical ammunition?
Yes, everything that requires ammunition in this world comes with ammunition because I don't feel like being that guy.
So, are there some magical arrows?
Yeah, there are crossbow bolts. I'd say there is a small quiver of magical arrows, yes.
Oh, what an interesting coincidence.
What a coincidence. What a coinky-dink. Maybe the king just decided he wanted to go... That he wanted to go hunting magical elk this morning, and he needed to take his magical bow and arrow, and forgot the arrows.
Either that, or they have a like really bad werewolf infestation.
I didn't say they were silver.
Well, they're magical. Maybe so.
Again, this is a one-shot. I feel like giving you guys all the things. Just remember, the crazier the things you get, the crazier I can be.
He'll take the quarterstaff in case he has to use it, and he's also a wizard. It's pretty much all he can use. And I guess the only other thing for me is looking over the battle map, maybe trying to figure out their strategy a little bit. Maybe a way in to where the portal is without getting caught.
Hang on a second, I gotta turn your volume down a little bit. Kung Fu, what were you saying?
Oh, like what kind of information can we glean from the battle map or in preparation?
So, it's definitely like their arrows drawn and how they're going to be moving troops across the battlefield, and plans. If this section goes down, we'll shore it up with these specific troops, that kind of thing. It's how they plan to mobilize across no man's land. It's all forward movement.
But is the forward movement going away from where we know the portal is?
Yes, the portal is behind all of the enemy lines, like the furthest point behind it, and all of the military movement is away from the portal toward your hirers. That's really hard to say.
From the front of that army to the portal, what is like a estimation on feet, maybe? Looking at the map.
So you're asking what the size of no man's land is?
Or how far
More
away from the
so,
portal?
yeah, more so like the army possibly near the portal.
Oh, there's no army near the portal.
Oh, okay. It seems like where we're gonna need to go.
Okay, well, I guess as we attune to whatever we need to and gear up, we can start making our way down towards the hill.
How would
down
you
towards the portal.
know how to attune to these weapons?
Well, you would have to just spend what would it be, 30 minutes?
How would you
short
know
rest.
what the attunement time is? Other than the longsword, or the greatsword, which did not have an attunement time at all.
Oh wow, that's fair. And I only have a horn and silent alarm. And that's just magic. That just works. So
Well,
if we're
if
ready,
we're willing to take 30 minutes to try and attune, maybe I should just identify them.
yeah, the wizard would know about attuning.
That sounds
just good
that
at-
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as we have the time, I'd be willing to try and ritual cast identify again.
All right. How many times are you able to cast it? How many times are you going to cast it?
It's probably a good idea. Do the daggers look the same?
Yeah, they're basically a set of daggers.
Probably the daggers next. I think magical ammunition doesn't usually have to be attuned, so I'm just gonna hope that they work.
Yeah, no,
And the
ammunition
quarterstaff-
doesn't need to be attuned.
Yeah, the quarterstaff, I'm not particularly. I don't have to attune to it. That's fine. I can always try to whack someone with it later and see what happens, but if nothing happens, it'll just be like, well, I guess I have to use magic.
It really do be
So
like
the
that.
daggers.
I'll
Alrighty.
hand them over.
I actually have notes on some of these weapons, so... And if they sound crazy, just brace yourselves. Yeah, come on. Open up. Open up. Alright, these daggers. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage. Attack and damage. It has 6 charges. You can cast a charge to cast Dispel Magic at its lowest level. As a bonus action, you can spend 3 charges to vanish, as long as you are not standing in direct sunlight.
So it turns you invisible as long as you're not in sunlight?
Yes.
Is that like a regular invisibility duration or just a round?
The length would be 1 minute unless interrupted by attacking or any other means to make yourself known.
Nice. Become invisible for 1 minute. As per spell. Spoop. Yep, I'm just not gonna identify the magical arrows. We're gonna see what happens when they hit things.
Oh yeah, that's totally fine.
You're just gonna fire and pray, spray and pray.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll like roll a D8 or something on every hit, and we'll see as I pull random arrows.
Are you sure you're not gonna take the crossbow?
What?
I mean, what
Yeah,
could
I'll take.
just
Yeah,
take it.
I'll take a magic crossbow. Why not?
Turns out this magical crossbow attracts all fireballs to your location.
All
This
casted
crossbow-
in the realm, not just right in the near
Yeah.
vicinity.
The crossbow's enchantment is called "Screw This One Guy in Particular."
If you
Oh, yeah.
cast lightning bolt, some other random person in the world is hit also by the same lightning bolt.
That's my favorite spell.
I love it.
It
Yeah,
says
I'll
if you recast it within a minute, it hits the same target as well.
Just keep casting it over and over again.
But yeah, I'll take a magic crossbow. What are we looking at?
Is it going to be identified?
Magic Man? Is it going to be identified?
That's up to the group. How long we want to spend here.
Oh, William Hurt passed away?
If you guys are willing to continue every 10 minutes increments, then yeah, I could identify it.
I'm a little antsy because I felt the portal open, or I don't know if it opened, but I definitely felt something ripple in the planes, and I have the technical term is the heebie-jeebies. So I think
Yes.
we must respect the heebie-jeebies and figure out what is going on.
The Hebe demands the jeebies.
Then we should probably get out of here. Can I take the battle map with us? Just like roll it up and put it in my pocket.
Yeah, it's not like glued to the table or anything.
Okay.
Good reference.
Are we in agreement to leave?
I believe so.
Seraphina's just like excited about her new weapon, ready to hit something with it.
Ready to hit something and freeze something with it.
Rappa's gonna snap his fingers and set a little fire on the edge of the tent, and then he's gonna start skedaddling as fast as possible.
Roll an investigation check. Or perception check, sorry.
I got a 12.
You notice, just as the halfling stated before, the burlap really doesn't take the flame very well.
We can always set fire to the meat cart, the meat wagon.
I think produce flame would probably work much better.
I think as long as we promise to treat Sarah to barbecue after this mission, I think we can maybe try to convince her to set fire to the wagon, and we'll just push it the other day.
I mean, does the barbarian have any issue against charred dragon meat? Like barbecue dragon?
No, definitely
Pulled
not.
barbecue dragon sandwich? Slow roasted
Good.
over a spit for 8 hours, you know?
Oh yeah.
That's a long rest right there. So how are you
Set
guys
fire to
going
whatever
to
you want.
proceed from the tent?
Do we want to be stealthy going towards the direction of the portal? Because I can cast Pass Without a Trace only one more time. But then that would be my last second level spell slot.
Am I lighting the thing on fire and pushing it down the hill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Do it, do it, do it. How are you gonna light it on fire? Not for like roll a check kind of way, but just like for explaining it out. How are you gonna do it?
I'm gonna pull out some cloth out of my bag and put it on there and just use produce flame to catch it. Like put it on the top and catch it on fire and then shove.
All right. You see the fire on top of the cart start catching the wood on the sides, and then the cart just starts rolling down towards the administration tents.
Nice.
And as the smoke starts billowing into the air, you hear some roars from the wyverns on the other side of the hill, and two of them fly up and beeline it toward the smoke as the thing picks up speed and starts and really hauls down the hill towards the unsuspecting kitcheneers.
We should probably go.
Yeah. We have to move. We have to.
Crab kind of pulls up his robe a little bit like a skirt and starts kind of scurrying forward.
Heading down the hill, you meet with absolutely no resistance, but as you enter the tree line, you can see a red glow in the direction where Cricket motioned to the portal's location, and you can hear chanting.
Crab will lightly nudge Cricket and kind of point in that direction. Is that the thing?
I'm maneuvering from tree to tree and guerrilla warfare, moving around, making contact with you guys, and I'm focus up here. Okay, I have 4 this way, and
Oh
move my
man, is he
hand
doing his own
gestures.
theme music? Oh man, I'm glad I was unconscious
Oh,
for this part.
it's definitely
Wanna.
there's definitely a little bit just a hint of theme music. I've learned not to after I gave away my position the last several times. I've learned to kind of curb that a little bit. The first time was the roughest. Second and third time not so bad. Fourth time was a doozy. Fifth time I'm learning. Um,
Well, at least you learned.
as we move closer, can I roll perception to see, kind of glean how many people there are and what the setup is looking like?
Um, it really, yeah, you can roll a perception, sure.
Can I
Well,
assist him for advantage?
How are you going to assist somebody perceiving something like
I'm gonna
troop
get on
speed?
his shoulders and kind of point in just a random direction.
It's that way. Roll
Make
a
sure you're looking
survival check to
north.
make sure you know which way you're supposed to be pointing.
Well, I got a 23 regardless on perception.
Yeah, I don't think you need to assist him. That's fine.
That's good because I got a 6.
You're pointing the
Just
exact
points north.
opposite direction, dude. You're supposed to be looking at the army, not the glowing red thing.
Oh, my mistake.
So with a 23, you said 23.
Yep.
There is one voice that is chanting, and it sounds like there are footsteps of a few others, but couldn't possibly be more than like 5 beings, maybe. Like, you know, it's definitely less than 5, but there's definitely more than one person.
Okay. Um, I kind of maneuvered forward a little bit to get a better vantage and to get all this information. I double back to I don't just like 180 go back, I kind of loop around and go back to the group, and I let them know. Okay, it sounded to me like only one guy is chanting. It's probably the big general. Um, we got one guy, and maybe I want to say at least 4 or 5 other people over there. Couldn't get a good look at them, but so far it's looking like at least 5 against 4. Do we have anything to maybe? Gosh, you're an enchanter wizard, not like a. You don't do like illusions and whatnot.
No, not exactly. More like manipulating people in combat.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If I really need to, I can also shoot lightning. if
Lightning is
needed.
always fun.
That is the most useful skill that we would need, right? But if that's our ace in the hole, let's hold off.
If we can get them grouped, I might be able to catch them in a web to keep them pinned.
Okay. What if I can go ahead? My legs are short, but I have a movement speed of like 30. Yeah, a
So you
total
can
of
haul
30.
butt, but you're short.
Oh, because I also have like squat nimbleness, I think it's called. Instead, yeah, squat nimbleness for my feet. So it gives me like extra 5 movement. I could potentially go out here and draw some of the people away and use like I have Misty Step. So I could potentially draw them one way and then just teleport out of the way, and that might clear up the battlefield for us a little, or at least buy us some time. I'm like drawing back like the plan like in the dirt.
Can't think of a better plan. I wonder how close we could get without being spotted.
While you guys are sitting there doing your planning, you can feel the air start getting a bit warmer. Just by a couple degrees.
That's not good.
Those are the GBs, or the GBs that I was telling you guys about. And once we get into the fight, do we want to focus on? Does Trap have any experience with like portals or any kind of magic like that?
I could roll Arcana. I don't have anything specific, no.
I'm wondering.
I could identify the portal if I can touch it to maybe know how to close it.
That might be the best, because we're at a point of like, well, do we want to focus on the person doing the summoning, or is there like a phylactery or like some kind of like focus that they're using to open this portal that we want to focus on? But we wouldn't know that until we actually get in there.
I would say focus on the caster first. The sooner they can be either distracted or out of the way, I think the easier it'll be.
And does Salvador does she use like, you took the daggers, but do you use anything ranged, or are you more of a just
I
stabby
I have a
rogue?
I'm more of a stabby. I have a short bow, but generally I use daggers.
Okay.
But I can throw out my daggers.
Well, we can potentially make battle movements to where Falavor is coming in opposite direction of where we'll be like firing from, to get sneak attack on the summoner if we can bridge that distance fast enough, depending on our surroundings.
I also have cunning action, so I can take a bonus action to hide and then get sneak attack, assuming the terrain's right for that.
Okay, because when we get close, I'm really just going to stick to the tree line and just unleash arrows as I can. Did I actually take that crossbow, or did we? No, I didn't take
You
it
took it.
because we didn't want to. I didn't want to wait about the thing. Um, with my short bow, I can fire off from like the tree line, and we can kind of attack them on multiple fronts that way. Um, multi-pronged, essentially.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
Seraphina just holds up her new fancy sword and goes, "I'm gonna hit him."
I'm with it. Okay. So, stabby stabby, I say as I point at Falivor, you're going to go around and you're going to try to attack the summoner. Icy hot, I point at Seraphina. You're going to kind of just go in and just do your barbarian thing, and you're gonna just like swing away. And then the magic man, as I point to trap, you're going to necessarily I'll come on one side on the tree line if you want to maybe position yourself a little bit further away in case they use like fireball or something. Gosh, I hope they don't have fireball or something.
I sure hope that they do not.
That way, just so that we're not in radius of each other in case there's anything major, because that is not great. And does anybody have any healing anything?
What is healing?
Cool. Okay.
I'm just gonna shake his head no.
Definitely the best way to answer that question. What is healing?
We're about to like move. I'm like, all right, does anybody have any way to heal? And you guys all just look at me like, what is healing?
That's your job, Nature Man.
That's when you sleep and wake up and feel better, right?
Yeah,
That's
this
what
is
we do.
one of those like sleep and not wake up kind of moments. So I
as
want to
a,
make sure that we can wake up.
As an adult human, what is this sleeping and feeling better when you wake up thing? I don't get that.
Just like lost on everybody. Okay. Well, I'm glad that somebody here had to take care of the children. I say as I look at these giants around me. I took cure wounds. So
Wonderful.
hopefully
I just want to say, if something goes wrong, you were the best people I've ever known.
Did you say the best people you've ever known?
Ever? Yes, thank you.
Cool.
I'm
I
gonna
know
give
how
you
I'll
I'm gonna
remember
give you
you.
an inspiration for that one. That was good.
Like, it's only because we've discussed this the entire trip over here, Trap. You're a deep gnome. I'm a halfling. We're very similar in height, but not two different species. It's okay.
Very similar, like the other two.
Very, that is very true.
They look very alike right now. They're both dragon people.
Man,
Sarah is just completely confused by the gnome joke. She does not get it at all.
In the
I'm
slightest.
not even sure if I get it.
It's wonderful.
it's not a problem. We're gonna do fine. We're gonna do fine. No problem. I'm like psych myself up. It's like, okay, cool.
So we focus the casters and the ones in charge first.
I would
Absolutely.
I would like to say, since there is so little healing, everybody has three minor healing vials in their explorer packs.
Nice. Okay.
If you use a full action to use it, you will get the maximum healing possible. If you use a bonus action to use it, you will, if you use a bonus action, you will roll for it.
What is minor healing?
In my world, it's 1d4 plus con mod.
Perfect.
Because I have healing house rules, because healing in 5e sucks.
Yep, that's why
So
I'm
action for full and bonus for roll.
Yes, that's it.
Because cure wounds is going to be a grand total of spellcasting modifier. It's a D8 plus 1. So a maximum of 9 points. We can survive anything.
Also, with a healing potion, if you use a bonus action, you don't have to use it on your turn. You can use it at any time, but you will have to roll for it as it'll be a bonus action. Because if somebody hits you with a whole bunch of crap and then you're like 1 hit point and you have to wait for your turn to heal, that just sounds like bull. So, yeah, you can do that at any point. It'll be a bonus action and you'll have to roll for the healing. So,
Okay.
because things are about to get nasty. How are we proceeding with this then, players of players mine?
I'm going
to
to
be ready to cast a spell, but we need to be closer.
I think we all start kind of moving into positions along the tree line, different positions, so that when what will be kind of like so we're essentially readying actions, but what are we looking for? What is going to be like for us, the players, are triggered? Are we going to wait for me to maybe shoot somebody first, or what are we really looking for? What is our go signal?
I would say either your horn of alarm or shooting someone.
I
think
that sounds good.
Yeah, I wanted to say shooting somebody because this horn of alarm, it might be to I might have to use that as an action,
Yeah,
and
since
I'd
you would
rather
be in combat for that surprise round, then yes, that would be your
yeah.
one action.
So I'm going to I'll say as soon as I loosen arrow, we'll know that's when we strike. Um, with that being said, to the DM, would that mean that we would all get a
Surprise?
a surprise round?
Yeah, since you are all readying your actions and they don't know you're there yet, then you would get a surprise round.
Okay. Yeah,
Cool.
that's
I'm
what
going
we're
to
doing.
stay within 30 feet of the barbarian.
If you don't move on your turn, you can use your movement as an attack because, if you're not moving, then why wouldn't you be able to attack with 2 actions?
Right.
I know some tables don't do that. I don't know why, but that's their business, not mine.
Okay. So,
Lets the barbarian do even more barbarian-y things.
yeah. If it's Sarah, and then I would say to the right a little bit, within 30 feet, be Trap. Within another 30 feet around on the other side would probably be Falivor, and I would be coming up from 30 feet on the other side to the left of Sarah. We're kind of like half circle.
Half circle, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
As we get in position, can I roll another perception kind of to see now that we're closer and we're like closer into combat, can I roll another perception to see kind of
Yeah, you
what we're
can.
dealing with?
It won't be a very hard DC. Like you get the trees aren't super thick, so you'll be able to see movement a lot better, and the air is much hotter. You can see kind of a stone shape looming through the tree line that's kind of glowing red.
Is that apparent to see with an 8 perception?
Yes.
I'm like my passive perception is 14.
Your passive perception is enough to pick out that there are 2 moving beings. Your immediate perception is just like, yep, there is definitely a big stone portal there. Yeah, that's definitely a thing that exists in front of me.
Do I see any kind of like crystal or anything that I might determine to be like the source of this summoning like planar energy?
No.
Okay. I just see the guy chanting and 2 people.
You don't see anybody chanting currently. You hear them, and you see 2 people moving around.
Is there a way? So we us from our 4 from the tree line, we only see the 2 moving, but we can't see the portal or the person summoning.
What is everybody else's passive perception?
14 as well.
11.
Very low.
Okay,
Mine
so
is 10.
So those with a 14 perception can see the two beings moving around. Any lower than that, and you wouldn't really see anybody moving around. And that passive perception isn't enough to see the person that is chanting now.
Ideally, I want our first shots to be off against that person, but we can't really see.
I mean, you can move around the tree line and get closer. That would probably help you see. Any closer, and if you're being stealthy, you might have to roll a stealth check to make sure that you're still not found.
The question is, do I want to risk that? Because I have a +7 to stealth.
This is all on the players.
Okay. No problemo.
Don't lie like that.
I'm going to... Yeah, right. I'm going to maneuver... Because, gosh, this doesn't work if we don't get the main person first. We can potentially get the two other people, but that would waste our surprise round.
I'm in agreement there. Most damage as fast as possible to the caster.
Mm-mm.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Discord just decided to glitch out on me there.
Discord knows what's happening, what's going to happen.
It knows I'm about to mess your guys' life up. Okay, since I missed everything that you guys just said, what?
Cool.
I think we're going to try to get in closer.
Yeah, I gotta get in closer because I have to, I want to get visuals on the summoner, basically.
You know, turning on my camera might be a handy dandy thing. Hi, my ugly mug. Hello.
Welcome back.
Okay, roll a stealth check to see if you can get in visual range without being detected.
I got a 22.
27.
I got a 19.
Do we have pass without a trace?
At this point, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah, we don't have pass without a trace right now. But
as Falvor and Cricket are the only two really going specifically for the visual on the chanting. They're the only two that need to make the stealth rolls.
Yeah, because you guys are just looking out for the battle to start, essentially.
Yeah, just waiting, because I imagine it'll be a lot more obviously. It'll be a lot more obvious once
people start shouting that they've been shot.
I've been shot. Yeah, that's stealthy enough to get up without being noticed. You are now a whole lot closer. Falvor, are you going around the back side of the portal, or how are you attempting to sneak up on this?
I am going to kind of see where Cricket's going and then circle around the opposite way so that I can get at least as close of a visual of the caster as possible without being blocked by the portal.
Fair enough. Also, why am I forgetting the word? Words and I are not working right now. What's when you're surrounding somebody and flanking? There we go. Flanking gives advantage on attack rolls. I think you would just be out of range for flanking currently, simply because somebody's not right next to the chanter. But once we get into combat, that'll be more obvious. Yeah, once you circle around a little closer in towards the circle of where the portal is, you're able to see the chanter. She is kneeling right in front of the portal, so the red glow is kind of enveloping her. And you can't see what she's chanting from. It looks like she's kneeling, like almost her head is poking into the portal. And these two beings they're dragon-like, demonic-looking, giant, very long claws that are almost like 3 times as long as their hand. Their necks are extended. Their teeth are elongated, so they're more needle-like. And these two things are just stalking around the chanter, the chantress.
So we just have visual on 3 people?
Yes.
Okay. How far away would you say? I'm in line of sight of the summoner.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to Hunter's Mark the summoner.
Hunter's Mark. That gives you advantage, correct?
It gives me. Damage. I have advantage on wisdom and on perception and survival, but I get bonus damage as well.
Right. Cool. Alrighty.
Alright.
Pretty sure everybody watching on Twitch just got a preview of everything that I'm just going to throw at you.
Yeah.
Whew. Have fun. If you guys are ready.
Yep. We are. I mean, there's nothing else to it. I Hunter's Mark the summoner, and I'm going to loose 2 arrows at her.
Alright, first off, so that we know what order everybody's going in after the surprise round, let's all roll initiative. We'll start with Seraphina. What is your initiative roll?
16.
Falavor, what is your initiative?
21.
Cricket.
6.
Ouch. Trap.
17.
Alrighty. Now that we got initiative order here, I won't tell you what something's AC is until you hit it. Go ahead and roll your 2 attacks there, Cricket.
Yep. That. Oop. The first one is a 12.
Misses.
Second is a 14.
Misses.
Well,
the arrows go flying right over the head of the chanter. She's kind of bobbing her head a little bit. And
can I actually use an inspiration to re-roll one of those?
You know, I would say since you're readying it, like you're getting that line of sight, I'd say you can roll both of those at advantage because there shouldn't be any reason why you would miss at least, or any reason why you would not hit at least one of those arrows, since you are specifically lining up that shot perfectly.
Fair. With advantage, the first one is a 15.
That hits.
Okay, and the second is also a 15.
They both hit. The AC is 15.
Wow. Awesome. Okay. So then I roll.
Roll that damage. Telling me how much you're hurting this person for.
What do I add to my damage roll?
Dexterity.
Yes.
Dexterity. So.
And whatever the magical arrows do.
Right. Well, okay. So.
Are you using regular ammunition or your special arrows?
I'm just using regular ammunition. This. Because I don't know what any of those arrows do. Well, do you have like are you going to roll like a D8 or a D10 like to see what they randomly do? Or how are we going to do that?
You roll a D8 and tell me which arrow, what number comes up on the D8, and I'll tell you what that arrow does, provided you hit with that arrow.
Hawkeye's quiver of non-labeled arrows.
Let's say for the first one, the base damage is the D8 I rolled is a 3.
All right.
9. Then there's more.
You know,
But wait, there's more.
there's always more. Always.
Hunter's Mark gives
Gotta
me
have it pinned in here somewhere.
an extra 4. And then what am I? I'm a Horizon. That means 7. So that's 20 for the first hit because I use Hunter's Mark and Planar Warrior.
Okay, so 20
wait,
damage. 20 damage
no,
for the first arrow, right?
a second. No, okay.
Actually,
So it should be just 13 for the first one because I use Hunter's Mark as a bonus action.
Okay, 13 damage for the first arrow.
And I rolled in 3 on that D8 for what kind of arrow it would be.
All right. A 3 is 1, 2, 3. All right. You feel yourself very, very light. Like if you were able to jump, you could probably triple your jump distance.
Ooh, okay, cool.
You are under the jump spell for 1 minute. Or you have the effects of.
5, and then another, what was it? 8 is for the Hunter's Mark. I mean, D6. And it's another 11 for the second one.
11
for the second arrow.
damage. Piercing damage. Magical piercing damage.
I
And
got
what is
another
the-
3 for the
So,
D8.
you now have twice the effects of the jump spell. You are now Superman. Superman the Halfling.
I fire those 2 arrows, and I want to immediately just jump into a tree.
Roll
for
a
cover.
roll a general intelligence check, or roll a wisdom check.
Yeah, let's roll. No, it would be a 16.
All right. So everybody sees these 2 arrows slamming into the chanter, and her head snaps up immediately. Her skin blackens immediately, almost like the fire genasi, but like darker and more charcoal, and it starts cracking where the arrows hit, and you can see fire start spreading across the her robes, and underneath the armor, and you can see even more black, cracky skin underneath. And then the gnome the halfling, just launches into the air, and you try to land in the tree next to you, and you end up missing just by a slight bit, and landing in the tree next door to it. And you don't quite land perfectly on the branch, so you smack into it, you fall down a couple branches, but you manage to catch on and and land all right in one of the higher branches.
I overshot it just a little bit. My legs have never worked this well. And
You've never been able to jump up this high.
I'm just clinging onto a branch. Like, okay, all right, cool, no problem. They saw that. They should know. That would be my turn.
Mark down in your notes, if you roll a 3 on the d8, re-roll it.
Okay.
You are out of those arrows. All right. With that, Falavor, I believe you were ready. Who's the next ranged character? Falavor, right? Were you going to do something ranged? All right.
Yeah.
Your turn then?
Would I also have advantage on these attacks?
Yes.
Awesome. So I am going to ready the daggers that I just had, and I'm going to throw the first one at the Chantress. And that is a 17 to hit.
At the Chantress? Yep, that hits.
And I'm going to put a charge of Dispel Magic into it. And because it's advantage, I get sneak attack. So That is 8 damage from sneak attack. And I did prep a d4, which I should have done. One moment, please.
Not me with 8d4 sitting here.
Yeah.
I promise not to use the trap that does 40d4 damage as much as I want to.
This time.
Next time, though, y'all better watch out.
You
So
said
that's
there's a trap that does 40 d4 damage?
It's a trap that I made, yes. But I said
Well-
I'm not going to use it this time.
That's totally fine because we have a trap that Mike made that does 40 d4 damage.
You know, just for that, I just might have to put this trap back in there.
No,
No!
that's the opposite reaction.
So
Call their bluff.
that is an additional 7 damage,
So
so
that's,
15 damage all total.
15 damage total. All right.
And then I'm going to launch the other dagger. I'm not going to put a Dispel Magic into that.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 19 to hit,
Yep. AC is still 15.
and another 7 points of damage.
All right. Both of these daggers sail true into her side that she's facing because she's kind of turned a bit to face where the arrows came from. And so it's leaving a chunk of her side exposed, and the daggers land into it. And little bits of molten rock spew out from the cracks that form where the daggers fly into her. Then the roll a dexterity saving throw, please.
That is an 11.
All right. Both daggers rip out of her, and you see a bunch of lava spew out from the holes, and they fly straight back to you. And you don't manage quite to catch them well. One of them bounces off of your hand and falls into the dirt next to you, and the other one kind of flies up and hits the tree, and then falls down next to you. You don't take any damage from it. You just can't quite catch them well since you've never tried it before. And little bits of lava come flying out at you, but none of them manage to hit you from the damage that you've done.
Do I notice anything that the Dispel Magic has done to the Enchantress?
As you are trying to catch these daggers flying back at your face, you don't notice that they do anything particular, but it appears there might be some kind of significance to it, but you just don't get a really good look at it since you aren't really concentrating on that. You're more like, oh god, there's daggers flying at me, shit.
Totally fair.
Seraphina, what are you going to do in this round of surprise?
I'm gonna go, ooh, I can get fiery too. And then I'm gonna rage. Bonus action rage. And my hair at the roots starts turning orange and red and then flames up. And my skin starts cracking as well as the flames come out from my skin. And then I'm gonna charge towards her.
The fake horns catch fire, and you kind of look like Hellboy with the flaming horns. So you're charging toward who now?
The Enchantress.
Alrighty. Is that a specific kind of attack, or are you just using a dash?
I have 40 feet, so I don't know
you
if
you don't even need to dash then. It's just your full movement up to her. Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm swinging twice.
Do it. And she's got to roll con saving throws.
Okay, only one of them hits. It's like a 20-something.
Yeah, that'll hit. What's your saving throw? What is your
14.
DC? Okay, yeah, she does not pass. And double that damage as it is ice. And she is, yeah. Oh no, I said a thing that you weren't supposed to hear. Ah! If you guys did not figure out that she is vulnerable to ice by now, because she's got flames literally pouring out of cracks in her face, then I feel bad for you, son.
16.
16 total? Cool. So you swing your sword, and you're not used to this sword yet. You've carried it for a little bit, but you've never used it in combat, and it's just kind of unwieldy in your hands. And then the second one, you swing it right back around, and you collide with her rib cage, and you see this ice crossing across her chest, threading more of her robes, and more cracks of fiery lava show underneath the ice, fighting against it. She is not super happy about this. Trep, it is your turn.
Trap is going to look about the battlefield and decide that the best course of action is to buff one of his allies. He pulls out a stopwatch or a pocket watch, opens it up, cranks it a bit, throws it into the air, and it disappears. And right above Seraphina is an hourglass which speeds her up. Her idle animation repeats twice as fast. Seraphina has double movement speed, a +2 to AC, a +2 to dexterity saving throws. You have an additional action, which can be used to do a third attack, a dash, a disengage, or a hide.
Haste!
And after that,
Sweet.
he is going
Thank
to
you.
try his best to avoid combat while moving to the portal. He has 30 feet movement speed.
I would just like to point out a small anecdote here. My first character found out that there are things called potions of haste, and he was a Tabaxi rogue warlock, and he became addicted to them. So much so that the other players had to stage an intervention, or the other PCs had to stage an intervention.
He definitely tries to keep his distance, and he says, "Don't let them near me." Mostly because if my concentration is ended, you will spend an entire round doing nothing. And that's it.
All right.
Alright, y'all ready for this? This is where real combat starts, now that you've done as best as you possibly can. With that, the Enchantress stands up and kind of pulls away the tatters of her robe, and she is completely head to foot stone skin, with cracks showing at all of her joints and like where regular skin movement is. And it just drips lava. It pours out of her onto the ground. And you can tell why it's heating up, because things are catching on fire around her. Like one tree is completely cindered by this point. And her hair is just streaming lava down her back. And she yells at where the arrows came from, even though she can't actually see where the arrows came. Like, she can't see the halfling anymore because he decided to leap out of the way. Smart. Wicked smart. And she whips around and looks at Seraphina. And drops her hands, and two flaming chains extend out of her hands with, like, whip daggers on the end of them. And slings one of them at Seraphina. Alright. Now I get to switch tabs back and forth. Your AC is 14, and she rolled a 15.
Well, it'll be 16 now because of
because she got hosted. Okay, so your AC is 16 now, so she throws the whip at you, or she tries to chain whip you, and now with your sudden fast movement, you're like, hey, I'm just gonna go over here, and misses you by a hair, and she kind of huffs and stomps her feet, which sends a bunch of lava around her foot, and she tries to hit you again, and rolls a 19. Yep. That'll be... I can do math. That'll be 9 bludgeoning damage. And you are resistant to fire, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll be 1 point. No, I can do math, totally. No, that is just straight. Oh, no, that's the wrong die. It's not 1d4, it's 1d8. Silly me. That'll still be 1 point of fire damage, because you are resistant. So
I am also raging, so I should be resistant to bludgeoning as well.
Okay, so that should be... round up is 5 points of bludgeoning damage and 1 point of fire damage, so 6 points of damage total. Damn rage machines. That's fine. This is all fine. With that, she stomps, and I need you to make a dex saving throw.
Remember, haste gives you a +2.
Yeah, that too.
18.
Actually have a DC. Yeah. Okay. So you don't fall over. You don't get knocked prone, but she stomps her foot and splatters of lava explode in a circle around her, and I need to roll some damage. That'll be 1 point of bludgeoning damage, which is negated by your rage, and I can do math. Single-digit addition. Why are you the death of me? 14 down to 7 points of fire damage. And that'll be the end of its turn, as lava splatters your legs. Falivor, it is your turn.
All right, and so is Seraphina within 5 feet of the chanter?
Hang on. Yes.
Perfect. So, I'm going to scoop up my daggers. Is that a bonus action?
I'd say that's a free action. While she's trying to beat the crap out of Seraphina, you can be picking up your daggers.
Okay, so I am going to do the same thing, launch a dagger right back at her.
Roll the attack.
That is not good. That is a DGD 9, which does not hit.
That does not hit, no.
And
So
I
sorry,
will
roll again.
throw the other dagger, and that is a 17. Okay.
So the first dagger sails right past her head, and the other dagger actually hits her.
Then I'm going to do sneak attack damage because she's within 5 feet.
I was going to say you're flanking because you have somebody that's directly in front of her taking her mind off, dodging your daggers, so... In fact, while Seraphina is in front of her, everybody is flanking her because everybody is attacking from a different point.
So that is 9 points of sneak attack damage, and no, my D4 fell. It hates me. It vanished. I'm sorry. I need a new one.
It said, "No, I'm not going to help you today."
Okay, that is 6 points of piercing damage. And that ends my turn.
Alrighty, the dagger, you see it pull itself out of her again, and a little splurt of lava shoots out. The other dagger that went sailing past her head flies right back at you. Now that you're kind of expecting it this time, you're able to catch the daggers a bit better. Excuse me. My voice is cracking all over the place. And with that, it'll be one of the demon dragon things' turns. Huh. Oh, that's nice. Alright. I need to move this over here. This is not working as well as I hoped it would. So, it's going to turn towards Falavor, noticing that daggers are flying from the underbrush, and it's going to run at her using its movement speed, and then it's going to try slashing at you with its ginormical claws. I remember what tabs are which beast. Of course, I do. Totally. Not the entire screen of you people. I don't want to see you people that much. That's not a long sword. What are you talking about? Y'all claws up in this thing. So it's gonna swipe at you twice. Your AC is 13. One of them.
It should be 14. I realized I didn't equip armor at first, so I equipped it and that put it up to 14.
Whoops. So it's still going to
Sorry.
hit both. Both of them are still going to hit you, and it's going to be. We'll count that as a roll, sure. 8 and 11 points of slashing damage. So
I'm going to use Uncanny Dodge to have the 11.
So it'll be 6 and 8 damage for a total of 14 damage.
Ouch.
As it slashes at you savagely with its claws. Nimbly bimbly. With that, it is Trap's turn.
How close have I gotten to the portal with 30 feet movement?
Are you going around the way that that Cricket was, or the way that Falavor is?
Falavor, and as far away from violence as I can be.
Okay. I'd say while trying to stay away from the violence, you are not within 30 feet of it quite yet. You're about 45 feet away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Am I... Actually, let me find out how long the spell is. I think it's 120 feet to attack the fire baby.
The fire baby?
Well, she's acting like a baby.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, she did just take, I can do math, about 80 points of damage in the span of a surprise and one round.
Oh, it's 60 feet. Mind Sliver?
Yeah, that's an intelligence saving throw, right?
Yes, an intelligence saving throw, or they will take 2d6 psychic damage, and then their next saving throw will be a minus 1d4 if they fail.
Okay, intelligence
If they
saving
pass,
throw.
it is half?
It's probably not going to pass, but you know. Yeah, what's your DC?
15.
Oh, she saved.
Okay, I don't think she takes any damage if
Oh.
she saves. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to move 30 feet closer to the portal.
Fair enough. I used a 9th level Mind Sliver one time. That was fun.
That's very mean.
Doing 63 points of psych damage in one hit.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
I'll just maintain my concentration on haste.
Fair enough. Seraphina.
Since I'm hasted and I'm not moving, do I get to try to hit her 4 times?
Do you have multi-attack?
Yes, I get 2 hits.
So you get
For
your
being
first attack
barbarian.
action, your second attack
Uh-huh.
action, and your hasted action.
Hasted. Was that 6 that I just saw on your hands?
You have multi-attack. Since it gives you 1 extra action, that means you can
Oh,
attack
Louise.
twice.
Are you a...
Okay.
You're not a berserker barbarian, are you?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Okay. First one.
If you just want to roll 6d20 and then just let me know. Don't tell me it was a nat 1.
No, it was a nat 20.
Oh. Just roll the damage on that. I want to see how close you get her to death.
Okay. Pause while I roll a fistful of dice.
I don't know if anybody else is watching this stream, but this is awesome. You're not single round killing her, but it's pretty close. Good thing there are 2 other beasties here that are also mean and angry and not happy that you exist in their space.
This is what happens when you plan. This is when a plan goes well, and you give everybody in your team nicknames to boost morale.
What is Seraphina's?
Meatwagon is doing it again.
I was gonna say, what is Seraphina's nickname?
Icy hot.
That's great.
Yeah,
What is-
it's Valivor is stabby, Seraphina is icy hot, and Trap is Magic Man.
And what's Cricket then?
Cricket is
He
Cricket.
apparently jumps real good for a cricket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cricket is to
Jiminy?
him he's Cricket the Unstoppable. But that's his own sense of self.
Remember, you cannot be proven to be mortal until you are proven immortal. So,
Con save for that ice damage.
oh, right. That's a fail. She's really good
Okay,
at int
so-
saves, apparently, on the die specifically, not the bonuses.
One moment. I'm going to separate out my damage. I added it all together and then realized I needed to do the ice separate.
That's fine, it's still from the weapon. Since you critted, you're still doubling, which means she's taking 4 times the ice damage because she's vulnerable to ice. This is what barbarians excel at, so, you're doing the thing. And it's nice to see you actually hit one of my monsters once in a while.
I know.
All you had to do was not be... Anyway.
While I math, you can tell them about my missing stabbing.
Oh yeah, she tried to hit like 6 times one single goblin, and she just kept missing every single time. It was glorious to watch.
That goblin survived. He should probably buy as many bingo tickets as he can.
Lottery tickets, not bingo tickets. Why would you buy a ticket to bingo?
You don't call them bingo tickets?
No, I call them lottery tickets because, you're playing the lottery.
Bingo is a gamble.
She takes 48 damage.
Oh god, describe that kill.
Okay. I'm going to say that was hot. And I don't usually get hot. And then I'm just going to spin around and cut her head off.
Wow, nice.
Completely unalived the chantress, the chanteress.
Spurts of lava. coming out
And
right
then
there.
I guess I have more hitting to do, so I'll turn around
I'm
go
gonna-
for the next thing.
I'm gonna say roll a dexterity saving throw and then a con save.
With a +2.
To
Not
to
the con
the
save.
to the dex save, yes.
Wait. Which one first?
A dex save +2.
16
All right, and a con save.
and a con save.
Again, in the middle
17.
of this combat, thank you anybody for watching, for supporting Ukraine. Even if you're just watching, that's still supporting. I mean, you're watching D&D, but that's still supporting. So even though you manage to jump out of the way towards the nearest Abishai, you are still hit by a wave of heat, and you still take 3 points of fire damage. Yes, that is already halved. Just due to the extreme heat of the explosion of lava that comes out of this thing.
All right, so I will try to hit this next thing. 26.
That hits. Their AC is 15. Did you just get a 26 on an attack roll? Good lord.
Yes, I have a +9.
Fair enough.
Con save.
I don't think these things have any con at all. I need to. Well, that's a nat 2, so it's probably not going to make it. But I still would like to look, just in case. Stop full screening, damn it. It's still not going to make it, but it's got a serious con save. Jesus. These things... Yeah, so go ahead and roll your bludgeoning and ice damage.
Okay, so 13 for regular, and then 1 ice.
So it doesn't look like it's actually taking as much ice damage as she was. Not like it's taking more than usual, but it's not like resistant to it either. So it's just normally taking ice damage, and you see splinters of ice break off of its skin as you smash your sword into it.
Okay, I'm hitting it again.
Hit it as many
Sounds
times
quick.
as you want. It's not nearly as close to dead as the other thing was. As you're hitting it, the other one stops attacking Falivor and looks at you.
Okay. 19?
That hits. Its AC is still 15.
Same con save or new one?
New one. Yep. I'm going to forget every single time, so you will have to remind me. It saves.
Uh, 13.
13 ice damage?
Total damage
it.
total damage.
13 damage. As you smack it again, this second one screams at you. Does anybody speak, let's see, what would it be? Abyssal?
No, is it anything like halfling language?
No, it is absolutely nothing like halfling language.
Nope,
A
not
lot of
I.
A lot of the syllables are very similar though, so I think he said something about going to go get a sandwich from Tuesday, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Okay, so I get one more because I moved. So
Yep.
that's
The
a
barbarian's like, wow, I want to do that again.
25.
Yep, that's still gonna hit.
Okay, con save.
Yep. That's not gonna make it.
$17 regular and 8 ice.
That is 23. I can do math. 17 plus 8 is... No, that's 25. Alrighty, this thing is looking hurt, and it's not having fun. So as you smack it again, it's going to attempt to hit you with its claw. Yeah, that's where the line is. Okay. That is 15 to hit.
Misses.
All right, misses by 1. That's right. So it attempts to swipe at you, but it can't quite hit you because of how much damage you just kind of brutalized this thing with. And the ice has made its muscles a bit stiffer, so it can't quite get to you as well as it normally would be able to. And now it's its turn. And it's going to grab you. Roll a contested dexterity check, please.
Uh, 13.
All right, it rolled better than you, so it grabs onto your head and it pushes down really hard and smacks your head into the ground, dealing 1 point of bludgeoning damage since you're still raging. And then it's going to try to bite you. And that's not going to hit, so it's going to try to bite you, and its teeth, it doesn't realize how small you are compared to how big its jaws are, and ends up biting into the ground around your head, and gets a mouthful of dirt instead of a mouthful of Seraphina. So that's its turn. Cricket. We're finally wrapping around back to you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't like...
After the 19,000 attacks that Seraphina was able to do.
Which is super cool, but as soon as I see the Abishai push her down, I use my bonus action to move the hunter's mark that was on the summoner over to that particular one.
Mm-hmm.
And I take 2 attacks at it. I'll use 2 random arrows too.
All right. Remember, re-roll the 3s.
Okay, so I got a 19 for the first.
Their AC is still 15. Go ahead and roll
And
your
19.
damage. Roll your damage
Both
first.
hit.
Oh, both of them hit. Okay, yeah. Roll your damages first, then we'll roll to see what type of arrows they are.
Okay. So the hunter's mark is a D6. And, 13 for the first hit.
That was 13?
Yep.
13 for the first hit.
Second. 13 for the second hit.
All right, go ahead and roll. Roll for the first arrow.
First arrow is a 1.
So we're going to nix that second arrow. Roll 2d6.
Okay. Eight.
I should have just had you roll each arrow individually, but
Yeah. That's cool.
so add that 2d6 onto the damage that you did with the first arrow, and describe how this arrow kills the creature.
Cool. So that was 8 onto it. The first one was 13, so 19.
Yep.
I see it bite down around Seraphina, and as its head bites down, I shoot an arrow through its neck from kind of down and from like the side of it.
As Seraphina, you're trying to like block your head to stop it from chewing on you. You just suddenly get a face full of blood, demonic blood, as it splatters across, and it takes an arrow to the throat. The other thing sees that its mate is now dead and screams this long, mournful, painful cry. and it echoes across all of the trees, but it's like you can feel the scream in your brain. Like everybody in the area can feel it in them.
Well,
for the moment, that is all that's going to happen.
That's not concerning at all.
In the slightest.
I'm going to just make maybe an acrobatics check to try to jump to another tree from the one that I was currently in.
Okay, go ahead and roll your acrobatics.
That's a 17.
Yeah, you're able to leap to another tree branch. That will use
Awesome.
your movement.
Yep. So that was bonus action, 2 attacks, and movement. Yep. That's it. And I just have my head on a swivel because that felt we did part of our job. Is the portal still open?
Yes.
Okay. Well, on my next turn, figure that out. Cool. That would be it.
This is the top of the round, and as this thing screams, echo around the trees, anybody paying a close attention to the portal will notice and aside from that, they'll also see the pool of lava that kind of is formed around the Chantress's body seep into the ground, and then the ground starts rumbling. Anybody standing on the ground, please make a dexterity saving throw.
Got a 9.
17.
14.
All right. Everybody except for Trap has succeeded, and the other Abishai has failed. So the beastie and the gnome fall prone. It's kind of anguished screams as it smacks onto its back. It's a bit more humiliating than scary at this point because it's falling on its back, yelling in pain. Like, oh no, a child just fell over. Whatever shall I do? And the ground erupts, and more lava pours forth into a very similar form as the Chantress. And she looks up into the trees at the archer, and says a bunch of other things that nobody can understand since they don't speak the language, and raises her hand up, and a jet of lava shoots straight up from the ground. Roll a dex, 2 dex saves, please.
Me?
Yes, you. You're the one that's in the tree.
Man. Well, I'm like shaking my head like, no, you don't see me. That dice though. Dexterity. The first one is a 24.
All right. You don't need to roll a second one. You are able to jump out of the way into another tree branch with no problems. But that tree catches fire as the lava splatters all over it and torches the branch that you were just standing on. And
hot.
And then she looks over at the barbarian. Roll a dex save as well, please.
$21.
You are able to jump out of the way as you kind of just see this lava explode out of the ground, and you feel shaking underneath you, and you're like, oh crap, here we go again! And you jump out of the way just in time for that spot to be demolished by lava. And in the places where the lava has shot out of the ground, they stay as lava pools, which are now going to become treacherous spots on the battlefield as you move around. With that, it is Falivor's turn. You have a beastie on the ground prone in front of you.
I am going to utilize the distraction to shove my daggers back into my belt and pull out my rapier. And I am going to do an attack on the Abasi.
It is prone, so you have advantage.
That is a 14, so that misses.
That's with advantage? Good lord.
Yeah, I borrowed my dad's dice. Should not have done that.
Should not have done that.
But since I haven't moved, do I have 2 attacks?
Yes.
Alright, then I will try one more time. That's better. Natural 20.
Yeah, go ahead and roll damage on that one. I think Seraphina's having flashbacks to another life of trying to hit a goblin.
That is.
This is true.
Do I double the modifier damage as well, or just the base roll?
Just the base roll.
Alright, so that is 7 points of piercing damage.
On a nat 20, good lord. No. Yeah, that's right. Okay, good. I can figure out who's doing what. Is that your entire turn?
That is my entire turn.
Oh, hang on. That thing is prone. You get sneak attack damage on that thing too.
I do? Oh, sweet.
It's prone. You get sneak attack on everything that's not like a regular attack, I swear. Rogue has
Okay.
sneak attack on like everything, I swear.
So I'll put. I don't double sneak attack for a natural
You will,
20.
since you are nat 20ing.
Oh, sweet. That is 12. That's 24 points of sneak attack damage.
Bad when your sneak attack is more damaging than your not so sneak attack damage.
I rolled a 2 on my d8.
Oh, good lord. It's horrible. Black gods. Anyway. So it's going to use its half a movement to stand up and shake itself off after being slashed at by the rogue. It's going to kind of claw its face, trying to bring itself back. And it's going to yell at Falavor, please make a wisdom saving throw.
That's a 9.
That is a fail. So you are going to take 4 points of psychic damage, and you are now afeared of this thing. You must use your next turn to use your full movement to move away from it, and you cannot knowingly get closer to it. For however long this lasts. This long, thin scream that just pierces your brain but doesn't seem to hurt anybody else as it screams at you for doing so much damage. Trap, it is your turn.
How much further do I need to move to get to the portal?
Let's see, you moved 30 feet in your last move?
Yep. Something like 60 feet now.
Oh yeah, you're definitely within 30 feet of it now.
Is there any lava impeding me?
From here, no, because you've kind of circled around the outside edges of everything. You haven't really drawn any attention to yourself.
Okay, I would like to get right next to the portal, and could I make an Arcana check to maybe figure out how to disable it or turn it off?
You can make an Arcana check, yeah.
That is a natural 20, which gives me 27.
All right. I like doing crits on skill checks because, you know, if a nat 20 doesn't auto success, then you shouldn't be rolling. So you're able to figure out that the portal is kind of feeding on the life essence of the enchantress herself, and killing her definitely weakened the portal, but she seems to have done something to keep herself alive through the lava, and interfering with that would probably interfere with the portal as well.
I will put myself in danger by shouting out to the group that if we take out the enchantress, the portal will deactivate for good.
Again, not correcting what you're saying or anything, but specifically I said if you interfere with it, meaning not necessarily killing her will do it, but interfering with that connection would certainly. I mean, killing her will definitely do that, but
Can I make an effort to interfere with it?
can you think of a way to interfere with it, there, Mr. Wizard?
Maybe.
It's like a pool of lava that's like flowing towards it's in circuit, let's say, with the portal.
You can roll a perception check to see. When you hear him shout out, interfere with their connection, you can take a look and see if you can perceive some connection from your bird's eye view.
I got an 18.
Yeah, it looks like the pools of lava are kind of trickling towards the portal.
Okay, cool. I can't share that because I don't want to give away where I am.
So what I'm picturing is a portal that's got it's like a circle, and it's got a flat side on both sides of it holding up the portal and stuff like that. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
He is going to take his 2 fingers, almost like a gun, and put it against the side of one, and he's going to try to shoot a lightning bolt through one side and out the other side of the portal, like vertically.
You mean horizontally, like straight across?
I suppose so. Yeah. You're right.
Vertical is the up and down.
Vertical is up and down. You are correct. So yes, horizontally. Sides.
Roll an attack roll since you're trying to aim from one side to the other.
Sure. It is 24 for a spell attack.
Roll your lightning damage. Or thunder damage, or whatever the heck the damage is for. I think it's lightning damage.
It's lightning.
It doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't thunder and lightning just go together? Screw it, roll thunder damage, because it's a lightning bolt. It should have some thunder with it.
Lightning bolt.
Kaboom.
Is anyone else listening to really intense music while this is happening right now?
I'm not listening to any music because
to
I know
Requiem with a Dream.
I know Twitch likes to mute audios of people who are listening to.
It is a total of 39 lightning damage and or thunder damage.
And or. So everybody on the battlefield except for Seraphina, since she's pretty much like locked eyes with this witch. Everybody else can see the gnome just... And lightning explodes from one side of the portal to the other. The red light goes completely out and all the stone shatters. Which... you will take 9 points of bludgeoning damage from exploding stone particles smacking into your face there, Trap. Since you're standing right next to it.
I'm going to lay on the ground and...
Falavor, you are going to take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. You won't get knocked prone because you're just barely out of the way of the explosion of it, but as bits of rock and stuff splatter. And then...
Can I take one of my health potions?
Yeah. Remember, it's a bonus action, so you will have to roll for it.
Would this count as like a reaction?
A reaction to what?
What general, just like battle happenstance? Like, as a reaction, so she couldn't use potentially like a reaction until her next turn.
No, using a health potion is either a bonus action or a full action. And I'm allowing it to be a bonus action instead of using your reaction, because I know those are very specific things that you're allowed to do on reaction. So, yeah, I'm not going to tie up a reaction for healing. That's BS.
Awesome.
I am not that kind of DM, all right? Scheisse.
I like it.
So, how much are you healing up for?
4.
Good roll. All right, and Seraphita, you could just you hear the explosion and then you kind of feel the thing explode, but you don't really see it because you're engrossed by a giant lava monster in front of you. With that, the second Abishai completely disappears, just turns to ash as the portal closes. And you are stuck with the lava monster still here, her connection cut to the portal. Trap, it is still your turn. You're on the ground,
I will,
but
as a bonus action, drink one of those little potions.
tell me how much
Which-
you are healing up for.
It will only heal me 4 HP.
Man, you guys are rolling so well on your D4s. Either that or you just have high con mods. Is that your
2 plus 2?
Is that your entire turn then?
Yeah. It was an action to cast the spell and then bonus to drink. I think I'm maybe stand up, I suppose, and that's it.
Yeah, you can use movement to stand up. Seraphina, it is now your turn. You're like, haste, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to pound this lady into the ground.
Oh, I took damage. I should probably roll my concentration.
Oh, yeah, that might be a good thing.
Oh, I passed.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, I was like, oh no, am I sleeping this round?
Just like, and I was about to do six attacks.
Oh, do I have to move to her?
No, you're right
Or
in front of her.
she's right in front of
Yeah,
her?
she,
Oh, okay.
she woke up right in front of you.
Okay, well,
You know what? Hang on just a second. I have to take an emergency break, so I'm
okay.
sorry. I don't mean to, but
This is definitely going a lot better than I had anticipated.
Yeah, that first round really, really helped.
I always say this cautiously. I don't know what it is. Some DMs, as soon as you're like, wow, this is going well, they're like, let's steer this entirely left.
Well, maybe it isn't going as well as you thought.
The the unsuspecting old man that you passed by is actually a Lich King, and it's like, oh man, we should have.
That tree you jumped into is actually a treant.
It's a mimic. This is a mimic swarm. It's like, oh man,
The entire camp was a mimic all along.
they have those. I can't remember what source book is in, but they're like mimic swarms that are insane. Mimic swarm.
I have been subjected to map mimics that smother the face of a caster so he can't cast.
Oh, that's
And a mansion mimic where everything inside is a baby mimic.
Do not be surprised if there is one.
Everything's a mimic.
Yes, everything is a mimic.
that's. This is definitely well, I have never, like, in all of our game when I'm a barbarian, like the combat never goes this smooth. It's always cool. 8 people surround you and everyone is just pummeling you the entire time. It's like awesome.
As soon as I was told there was a barbarian, I was like, great, I'm going to take haste and I'm going to be a wizard.
There you go. That works out so well.
I am so thankful. I was like, I get to roll like a fistful of d20s.
So
Fistful.
So good and convenient. Yes.
That's why people play rogues. They love that feeling.
Oh, the sneak attack feeling? It's the best in the world.
Yes. The critical sneak attacks.
My first time playing a rogue from Wizard, and so all of these are very nice to have.
Look at all these treasures.
All these dice I can.
He was not kidding about the flashbacks to another life with the missing with the rapier. When he talked about me missing like 6 times, it was with the rapier. And when I finally hit that goblin, there were really not nice words said because I was I was done. I was so done. I was like, you're gonna die right now.
To the best of us. That's why I like wizards. It's usually safe for half, not safe for miss.
It is the joke that I wave at enemies now.
Just a general passing. This is so good because I've been able to be like the most ranger I can be. Where in all of our
You're
other
even in a tree right now.
it's I'm a halfling in a tree. What could be more ranger than this? Whereas in the other games, I'm the least barbarian in the world. Never.
Barbarian.
Constitution.
One more time.
I said, what do you mean you only have 10 Constitution?
Right? No, oh man. My AC has always just been like 15, and I've just been getting just it handed to me every fight. But
I really
also,
enjoy the barbarian rogue build where people can pull that off. You use a rapier, which can technically be a strength weapon.
that's cool. I'm thinking about doing a barbarian fighter build.
That's probably a lot of damage. It's unfortunate that barbarians don't get a fighting style.
Yeah.
They can't let them have improved critical damage and extra rerolls on great weapon.
Except I'll say right now, I'm like I know there's character optimization, which is totally cool. My plan is to take the unarmed combat fighting style, even though it's not going to be the most optimized way to build a character, and just one shot punch NPCs, because that would be like instant death, I think, if you just punch an NPC with like a D8 worth of damage plus 4. You can just one shot somebody.
One punch gnome.
Exactly.
Well, we are back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Now, where were we? Is Seraphina's turn. That's right.
Yes, I'm apologize in advance for all the math.
Well, you're about to roll 6 attacks, I imagine, so roll all your D6s, all your D20s, and let me know how many of them hit.
Okay. Got 18.
AC is still
That
15.
still hit? Okay, just making sure it hasn't changed.
Doesn't this make you think of like a gusher?
Yes.
I have an entire set of dice that are just like gusher's dice.
That's pretty fun.
Now I need to go get some gushers from the store. I think after this, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, only 3 hit.
Of 6 attacks, only 3 hit. All right. Roll all of your damages. I'll roll 3 con saves. That's a fail. That's a success. And that's an epic failure. So one of those, double up your ice damage again because she nat 1 on the con save. So it'll be ice, ice, baby. I saw the opportunity for it and I took it, all right?
No regrets.
Icy Hot is just the perfect name for a Fire Genasi barbarian.
Who uses an ice sword, yeah.
It just worked. Couldn't have asked for something.
Fire Genasi with an ice sword goes in, Icy Hot comes out. You can't explain that.
That's just simple math.
It's just science. I don't think anybody is still watching the stream, but I'm still having a blast. I don't know about you guys.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, this is fun.
I honestly have absolutely no idea how to see how many people are actually watching, or if they're watching.
Okay. 51 total damage.
Doesn't kill her, but it gets her pretty damn close.
There's about 12 or so people watching.
Wow. thank you everybody for watching and supporting Ukraine. Supporting my first ever stream of anything other than my test stream yesterday, and that was just so that I could make sure that I was actually able to do it. So yeah, thank you very much. It means so much. Incredible. I'll take my Academy Award for that later. Okay, now that Seraphina just hacks and slashes through this, every time you hit with the ice, you can tell that it's solidifying into stone, like re-solidifying her form back into stone. And you're just tearing bits of lava off of her. And it doesn't, like, it's just flowing lava, so it doesn't look like anything's happening, but you can tell she's not having a good time. With that, it is Crick Hay's turn.
Nice.
Little gnome little halfling up in the trees.
I'm hearing a lot of like steam hissing and cracking as the lava is like super cooled and cracks from like the compression with each hit.
It's funny, it's still doing ice damage, but the more that she's hacking into lava, the hotter the blade is getting.
Oh, it's thermodynamics be damned.
Who cares about that when magic is real?
You know, I can teleport. That's all that matters.
That is all.
I'm going to use if I make a solemn vow that every character I make is always going to be able to teleport, no matter what the situation is going to. I have a barbarian that can teleport.
I don't see any problem with this.
Exactly.
If you die, you teleport somewhere.
If she dies, she dies.
Yeah, really. I'm going to use my hunter's mark and move it from the Abishai that I killed on the last one. Use my bonus action to have moved it over to the lava lady.
Yeah.
Before I take some shots, I'm just going to yell, "That lady ain't right," as I take 2 arrow shots. I've never seen lava, or didn't you cut her head off? Her head was completely off. That lady ain't right.
Yeah, it's still sitting on the ground, smoldering with little bits of lava pooling out of the neck.
It's like, it's there, but she got one. No, I don't like it. I'm going to take 2 attacks. The first one, I'm going to do them one at a time. The first one is a 26.
To hit?
Yep.
Did you roll a net 20? No, that must have been a 19.
It's a 17, but
okay, fair enough.
My short bow and proficiencies and everything. 26.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's roll a d8. I got a 5.
All right, what do we got? We got, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Ain't that just the way? So, you notice where the string is tying the arrowhead onto the shaft. Shaft. There is a little crown symbol, just the tiniest little crown symbol. Indicating what us humans would recognize as a king in chess. And you draw it back. And just as you let it go, this allows a creature within your choice of 5 feet of the target to make a reaction attack of opportunity.
Awesome. I will leave that reaction to Sarah if she wants to take a hit.
As she's the only one within 5 feet of it, yeah, I'd imagine that'd probably be your choice, yeah.
Okay. So
roll your damage.
Yeah, I'll roll damage while she takes that opportunity attack.
And since you are using an opportunity attack on his attack, you can add his hunter's mark bonus to your damage.
Which is a d6.
So roll your damage and add a d6 as long as you are able to hit her.
It's a 17.
To hit? Yeah, that hit. Her AC is still 15. I just find it funny that everybody watching is just like, wait, they're level 5s? She fails that con save. Yes, this is what it's like to be a level 5 at my table. Welcome, everybody.
How fun.
Y'all should see the real game that I play.
So that would be 8 points of damage from me for the first arrow.
I suppose I should be continuing to hold on to my keyboard so that I can actually type out this damage. Cool. Alright.
Then that would be damage from Sarah.
She takes 28.
Nice. Alright, Cricket, is that all of your turn? Just the one arrow, or are you going to do more?
Alright, we're going to do one more. That is going to be a dirty 20.
Alright.
Then the D8 for the second arrow is a 4.
4. Alright, cool. Roll your damage.
That's 15 base damage before the magic arrow.
And then choose somebody within 30 feet of the creature. So Seraphina, Falivor, or Trap. Since you don't know what it does, you have no way of knowing who or why you're choosing them.
Okay. I'm going to choose Trap because I think he took damage as well. It might be a little bit lower. So I'm going to choose Trap. I think I would imagine it's like Sarah, she's engaged with Lava Lady. Trap is probably a little bit further. Then Falivor would be on the other side. So Trap would be the closest person. Yeah, I would say Trap.
Trap, you now have your movement speed increased by 10 feet. You don't provoke opportunity attacks, and you have advantage on dex saving throws.
Huh.
Oh, that's so good then.
I'm so fast.
Why would your benefit harm an ally? Why would I make you choose an ally to harm? Come on. It's like you don't know me or something.
It could have been cool. That actually launches a fireball at him and it's like, oh no.
I wouldn't make you choose an ally for that. I'd make you choose anybody for that. It's like choose a target. Fair. Oh, okay. Yeah, Trap. You feel yourself a lot lighter on your feet as a gnome. And like, man, I've never felt this fast in my life. Did I put haste on myself?
It is like the best cup of coffee you have ever had in your life.
And you do not take opportunity attacks. That's always a helpful thing.
Helpful.
Cricket, is that the end of your turn?
Can I, I'm just like run and gun. I take those 2 shots and move to another tree. I rolled an 18 for acrobatics.
All right. You're a little bit further down on the tree, but yeah, you're able to jump to another tree.
Cool. Yeah, and that will be it.
Alrighty, with that, it is Lava Lady's turn, and she is not happy. So you don't have a choice. You don't have a save for this one, because she's just going to splatter everything. You see her body kind of undulate, like she's coughing, and then she looks up and spews lava everywhere. Do a con save instead of a dex save to see how well you survive this versus taking. I mean, you're still raging, so you're still only going to take half damage, and you're resistant to fire. So it's it's not like it's going to hurt that much, but
8.
Oof, that one not that good. That'll be 7 points of fire damage. As you just get doused in lava. And then she looks over at she looks back up to the tree, but the halfling isn't there anymore. So she glances around the battlefield and notices Trap, who doesn't seem to be nearly as hurt as everybody else because Falavor just kind of got wrecked by the Abishai. And she looks at Trap and like rips a ball of lava out of her arm and throws it at him.
No, don't do that.
And that'll be a 12 to hit, which misses your AC, and it just goes sailing past you because you're a slippery little gnome like that.
He ducks into the fetal position.
Tuck and roll, tuck and roll!
Fire indeed hot.
Yells again and does the same exact thing because she is very mad that she missed. And that's not going to be much better. So, yet again, the ball of lava splatters nearby you, and you can feel the heat as it passes over your body.
You have quite the anger issue.
You could say she's a bit hot-headed. With that, it is Falavor's turn.
I am going to pull the daggers right back out and just send one right her way.
Roll the attack.
That is a 19 to hit. And so sneak attack. That is 13 points for my sneak attack damage. And 6 points of piercing damage. Sorry, 7 points of piercing damage. And then...
Describe your kill.
Oh, so I am... the dagger's just gonna go right in and sink, essentially, up as far as it can go.
Alright, so... Let's flavor this out since you're killing the boss. So she whips around since she notices that as she's looking around the battlefield for a target to throw another ball of lava at, and she sees you pull a dagger out and throw it and kind of yells defiantly at you. And the air gets so hot around her that the grass starts catching fire, like the bits of forest land around her, and even Seraphina's having problems with how hot it is. And the dagger starts melting as it's getting closer to her, so the point starts dripping off the end. And the closer it gets, the hotter it is getting around her until it hits her, and you have thrown it so hard that even the hilt itself slams into her throat and passes through the back and ends up just a little glob of metal out the back as she finally dies and melts into a puddle of lava.
Whoa.
Takes one to know one. I've actually never defeated anything before.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, you have killed a boss.
Oh,
Did we do it?
yeah. I need to hear those magic words that every group always wants to hear, and that takes us out of initiative.
The words that everybody
Awful quiet.
I don't know
The
what
word, and that takes us out of initiative. There's no third phase. There's no secret underground anything coming up.
as the whole mountain turns into a mimic. I'm just kidding. No, I said that this would last about 4 hours, and it is almost 4 hours to the minute. So I will actually say what everybody really likes to hear that nobody ever seems to hear enough of, and y'all can level up your characters in case we ever revisit these characters.
Oh, good.
Because you just closed a portal to hell and killed a fire dancer twice, and managed to wreck an entire army with cannonballs and meat wagons for wyverns.
So, Seraphina, barbecue?
Yes.
Seraphina deserves
As I'm like wiping like
got-
lava bits off of me
Also,
and turning back into
1
myself.
minute ago, we got another donation. So thank you very much for everybody who donated and everybody who has watched.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, everybody has a great evening. It was fun.
It was fun for me, definitely. I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for putting this together.
thank you.
Beyond fantastic.
Yes, thank you very much.
I'm going to go ahead and unstream from Twitch here.